much that you guys had to flee the island. If you say you're sinking, like the other ladies pointed out, you never pulled up the anchor. You never opened the trim. The basic things, it's like literally fleeing when the emergency parking brake is on. You see what I'm saying? Fleeing. You guys have been on the water enough to know the basics. You pulled the anchor up, but they didn't. They fled with all that on the boat. Things to think about. Let's keep going.
His exact words. He contradicted himself. That's blatant deception. It needs to be immediately exploited and interrogated.
Now, really quick, let me put
Not only have I found more evidence of a fourth boat, not only have I found a...
Is this it? Let me see if this is it. There's a fourth boat theory right here. Let me just put this on the screen for y'all. For those of you guys asking, we want to know more about the fourth boat. I think Nerdy Pink Panther does a good job of surmising the evidence of why. A lot of people have come up with this theory, but I think she does the best job of putting all the photo evidence in one thing, all right? So let's get into this. Hold on.
Of a fourth boat. Not only have I found a lie in their timeline, but I have also discovered a deep political connection, not only to a former governor of Mississippi, but to Turning Point USA. So first off, this picture has surfaced in which...
So here's the funny thing. Miss Lisa House, when the dispatch put kids on hold to talk with Captain, could that conversation have been recorded while the kids were on hold? Miss Lisa's House, thank you so much for the super chat. And also, I want to say absolutely. I do.
From idea on a napkin to 500 plus companies running on autopilot without hiring a single employee. Meet Marcus, a solo founder who had a great idea but no team to execute it. No developers, no marketers, no ops.
Okay, Chris Jeremiah. Thank you. Thank you so much. And Miss Lisa said, now here's the funny thing. I do find it odd that the MDMR Marine Patrol recording that was released under the Freedom of Information Act completely stopped when he patched the captain through to those kids. It should, if she patched them through, still be recording. And the fact that the fact that when it got patched through, it completely cut off. What were their conversations? What did the captain say to them? Why did they say, never mind, we're not going to go? Again, everybody in this case might be strategically withholding information. I think it's ridiculous and arrogant, but by the way I see they're running their campaign and the way they're trying to bully everybody into being quiet, even talking about it and speculation, I feel like they just overestimated things where they basically, within an hour of finding the home, was like, yeah, he died of accidental drowning. And the mama was like, what? Like, how? When? Where? And they was like, it was an accident. And they thought she was going to swallow it. And she went and she called Ben Crump and whoever she could to get answers. Because even the way they told her about the death and the way they didn't want to do an autopsy and the way they didn't want to, it was just so disrespectful. But it was done with the arrogance of what we say is law, and there's nothing you can do about it. You see what I'm saying? All right, but let's keep getting into this fourth boat and the political connections because it's actually very, very, very compelling. Hold on, you guys. This is the fourth boat theory that y'all was asking about.
It's clearly the group of boats a little bit further out in the water altogether. Now here's what is supposedly Bart's boat. We can see the Garmin on top, can confirm this black boat from this other picture. We can see Wyatt's Triton right here, and we can confirm that by the motor. As you can see right here, has that black stripe on the white motor. Now in between the two boats is the Palm Beach. You can clearly see it labeled, and it's got that stripe, right? As you can see, the stripe is there. And yet there's this design right here and no Palm Beach. And you may be like, Jay, that doesn't prove that it's a different boat. Maybe we just can't see it, even though it should be right there according to this picture. But if you look in this video, you can see that there is a black propeller right there. See black propeller, and you can very clearly see the Palm Beach right there on the side. And if you look really carefully in this photo, you can see right there a black propeller. There's another boat on the other side of these three boats. And given the lack of the name on the boat and the black propeller, I'm going to assume the Palm Beach is on the other side, which means there's four boats right here. Then I rewatched Warren's interview.
I woke up at my buddy's house and we went to McDonald's, got food. No one was not with me. And I went and got breakfast. I had my buddy's boat hooked up to my truck. And well, first I ran to my house, then I went to McDonald's and came back and the boat was already hooked up to my truck. My buddy Wyatt and I went and with my buddies, and we went, filled the top of the boat off, loaded it down with ice, and just got everything ready. Then Wyatt went and put his smaller boat in the water, which is the Palm Beach. He's 18-foot Palm Beach, and Wyatt, I drove the boat from Fort Bayou Boat Launch to my buddy's grandparents' house, and that's where we all planned to meet up that day.
So Wyatt had his buddy's boat already hooked up to the back of his truck. He said he and Wyatt and his other buddy went and got ice and filled up the boats. And Wyatt went and put the Palm Beach, his smaller boat, into the water. And we know there was a second boat, the Triton, that was driven by Wyatt. Wyatt had 2 boats in the water. Who was driving his other boat?
Nolan was on Wyatt Pyron's 22 Triton. On the way out, I went with my buddy Bart because we had a lot of friends from college coming down, and I called Bart that morning. I was like, "Hey man, can you take your boat out?" And he was like, "Yeah, well, my dad's decided not to go, and I'll take the boat and I'll take you and your friends." Of course, I mean, he's a buddy of mine. And so Bart pulled up at the dock, and I mean, I rode out there with Bart and a lot of the girls that go to college with my friends and I, and Nolan rode out on the Triton, and then we had a Palm Beach, 18 Palm Beach. There was 4 guys on that. There was like 8 people on the Triton, and then there was 8 or 9 people on the Triton, and then there was the rest of the group, which was ranged from maybe 10 to 15 or 16 people.
Now wait a minute. So Warren already had a boat hooked up when he woke up that morning. I'm assuming that had to be the Triton that was hooked up, right? Then he said that Wyatt went and put his smaller boat, the Palm Beach, into the water. Then Warren said that he was the one who drove the Palm Beach to their friend's dock. Assuming that Wyatt drove the Triton to the dock and Bart drove his own boat to that dock, who drove the Palm Beach out to the water then? Because he said that he got a ride in with Bart. Even though at one point during the interview he said all of his stuff was on the Palm Beach. So it sounds to me like Warren was the one driving the Palm Beach. I'm also like, what parent would let their kid, who's obviously going off to party, take 2 of their boats and let them let their drunk friends drive? Like, it isn't making sense to me. I mean, maybe these parents are just shitty parents and irresponsible. Then he also said that he contacted Bart that morning to see if he could come, and Bart was like, yeah, I can give all your friends a ride, blah, blah, blah. According to him, there were 10-ish people, 15 people on that boat. So where were those people originally supposed to ride in on? They'd been planning it for weeks. They were excited about it. Why did Bart have to suddenly step in and take all these people? And remember, Bart said that his dad had canceled going out on the boat that day, so he could do it. Something's not adding up here. I think there was an adult somewhere in this mix. It would also explain how they all thought quickly on their feet with the sea tow. I wouldn't be surprised if an adult didn't come out there and just go off with other adults that were also on Horn Island and let the kids hang out with the boats. Here's where things are going to get interesting, folks. There are more GPS coordinates in the report than what we have seen publicly. I'm going to play you a clip from the interview, but remember, at 5:30 is when they started picking up regular speed, all right? It's right here, 525, speed miles, 30 to 35 knots. So here we go.
Planed off and you have water in the boat and you're hauling, we're going pretty fast. We're going probably 42 miles an hour. And so all that excess water that was built up in the boat is coming out of the boat. So, I mean, that's what we had to do. So we ran into Fort Bayou and we didn't just run straight to my buddy's grandparents' house. We ran into Fort Bayou. A couple of us jumped in the water, and Wyatt, the whole reason for the stop was so Wyatt could hop in and put the plug back in the boat. So then after that, we went and docked it, and I went back to my buddy's house, and we ate and napped for a little bit. It was a long day at the islands.
Now you heard him. He said that they took off going 40 miles an hour, and they didn't go to his buddy's grandparents' house, but they went to Fort Bayou to go do a plug thing. Except right here, 5:44, vessel arrives at El Camino Road. 8 minutes later, then it departs from El Camino Road and headed east into Fort Bayou. So right there we have a lie. The boat did stop before going into Fort Bayou. 6 minutes later, it comes back to El Camino Road, and the vessel departed El Camino Road half an hour later, headed southwest to St. Martin Bayou, and then turned southeast into Biloxi Bay Bridge. Then they went back to the Bayou boat launch. Then the boat was taken to Cardinal Lane, which was Wyatt's residence. Now, because I am an absolute genius, I was able to find it. This was where they left and where they came back that day. Then came back several times. Now, first off, Why aren't we seeing footage of them returning that day? We know that Nolan was with them when they left. So why do they have the security cams from that morning, but not that night? Whose grandparents live there? Jax Patalo, whose family owns a pharmacy. It goes back deeper than that because George Patalo Sr., which is Jax's great-grandfather who is deceased, as it turns out, his great-grandfather was appointed and served on the staff of Mississippi Governor Cliff Finch. As you can see, I've confirmed Jax's relation to him. And as it turns out, Cliff Finch, well, he was in the Mississippi House of Representatives from 1960 to 1964 and supported racial segregation and backed the racist governor, to preserve segregation in the state. The federal grand jury conducted a 3-year-long investigation into his administration and several state agencies, and they were all accused of corruption and mismanagement. Finch was never found guilty himself, but some of his aides and appointees were indicted. And those sort of political connections seem to trickle down through the generations.
My husband has severe premature ejaculation issues. Even in round 2, he finishes early. So I had
Jax, you see, he was one of the people on the thing that have deep ties. This goes into what Ruby Red said, where she said, what happened to the friend Jax? Nolan's dad said he stayed at the friend's Jax house on the 3rd so they can go out on the 4th. It's weird. No one has mentioned Jax's names of the boat he was in on. Now y'all see why potentially nobody mentioned Jax's name. Let's rewind this. Just so, Ruby Red, literally, you're asking the right questions, okay? Because we just got the answer. Look at this.
Grandfather who is deceased. As it turns out, his great-grandfather was appointed and served on the staff of Mississippi Governor Cliff Finch. As you can see, I've confirmed Jax's relation to him. And as it turns out, Cliff Finch, well, he was in the Mississippi House of Representatives from 1960 to 1964 and supported racial segregation and backed the racist governor, to preserve segregation in the state. The federal grand jury conducted a 3-year-long investigation into his administration and several state agencies, and they were all accused of corruption and mismanagement. Finch was never found guilty himself, but some of his aides and appointees were indicted. And those sort of political connections seem to trickle down through the generations, so now we know why the governor got involved. And I started looking into the lawyer that's...
Before we get to the lawyer, again, that's why nobody's mentioning Jax. He is from a political dynasty that supported segregation. Again, you are not your forefathers, but are you your great-grandfather and grandfather? Anyway, right? Thank you so much, Ruby, for the super chat. Also, I just want to read this really quick. Thank you, Ruby Red. Also, Martin's Moments said, looks like the sheriff's relative story is fabricated. Martin's Moments, I don't know about that. It was in the Daily Mail. Now, don't get me wrong. The Daily Mail is vicious with their gossip. However, when it comes to their investigative journalism, much like Fox News, they are very verified. They do not operate like they are the National Enquirer. If anything, the Daily Mail was sued because it was too much on the nose about celebrity news, and they were accused of wiretapping, following, putting literally secret spies in to spy on people. That's what the Daily Mail has been. Now, it is a gossip tabloid thing where they love celebrity trash, but they are much like Fox News. When they investigate, they verify the people they're talking to. The Daily Mail was the one that put out the story about the relative story. It was not fabricated. There is a real, again, it was used by it's ran by the news today. It's one of the biggest things across the world in circulation. I promise you, they're not trying to get a lawsuit from Nolan Wells' mom. Now, you never know. But I'm just telling you, that story was not fabricated. Now, whether the sheriff's deputy had permission from the mom to say, and whether the mom said she doesn't know Katie, are two different things. But I promise you, that's a Also, Dr. Doc 1, but thank you for the super chat. Dr. Doc 1 says they hung up when the captain connected with Cito. The boys had already talked to the captain and grandpa prior to calling Cito. No need to hold. The adults took over. Now that would be interesting if he said, patch me through, and the literally hung up. And that was the end of the story. But then that would also say something too. On top of this, the real aunt, thank you for the super chat, Dr. Doc. And the real aunt, that's an interesting thing. The real auntie, Lunati, said Nolan didn't go with Bart because they've been beefing. That could be true. I actually like for people to explain the friendship dynamics. Again, I've often I've been very critical of this, and I've said it a bunch of times. In every town, especially for a story like this, you always find interviews with neighbors, interviews with school friends, interviews with whatever on big media. The fact that the town has not, they can't find anybody to interview, even the fact on social media, you would think the kids would be talking, whispering back and forth. They're all teenagers. And I'm not talking about the kids that are being accused. I'm talking about just a thing. It is so funny that in Ocean Springs, there is a veil of silence that has gone over the whole town that not even big media can break. It seems like it's very concerted. It really honestly does. And the fact that we cannot find anybody to come out and say, it is what it is. Constance Marshall said, Tisa, we can't forget about the fifth boat named Mac Daddy near the Triton. We cannot, and we will talk about Mac Daddy in a second. And also, thank you. Quentin Carter said, stay on their behinds. Thank you so much, Quentin. I appreciate all of the super chats. Constance, we're going to talk about that in a second. Let's get into Bart's lawyer, Russ Latino.
Handling the defamation case from the Bart family. So from 2015 to 2018, he was state director of Americans for Prosperity. Then in 2018 to 2020, he was vice president of Stand Together while being vice president of Americans for Prosperity. Stand Together is a Charles Koch nonprofit, and Americans for Prosperity is a libertarian conservative political advocacy group affiliated with Charles Koch and David Koch. And if you don't know who the Koch brothers are, they're fucking evil. Guess who's one of the major funders for Turning Point USA? Major donors for the Koch brothers also are primary financial pillars for Turning Point USA, specifically their campus operations. And guess who used to serve as the director of urban engagement?
Officer Tatum. And isn't it funny how Officer Django is going so hard in the MF and paint for these boys, for this family, for the story? You guys, they're all co-workers. Officer Tatum, Django is an employee, right? Because they ain't gonna let him be the co-worker. I'd let them be co-partners. But isn't it funny that Officer Django is going so hard in the MF and paint to run this, to do this, to call out Nolan's mama. Again, I think there's a thing of projection. Everything they've accused Ben Crump and Nolan's mama of doing, they are actually doing themselves. Everything in the political conspiracy, that is a political conspiracy. But let's move on, all right? We'll come back to that.
Phone off of the Palm Beach when Wyatt called him over to look at the Triton. He says he got his phone because he had it.
Oh, you guys, this is in direct response to a comment. Also, sorry, y'all, 1 second. Also, hold on. Where is it?
Not only have I found more evidence of a
Oh
fourth
my
vote,
gosh.
not only have I found a lie in their timeline, but I have also discovered a deep political connection, not only to a former
This is my
governor.
full Nolan Wells timeline.
Not only have I found more evidence of a fourth vote, not
Let me fast forward, sorry. Oh yeah, this is a good one. Hold on. So here we go. This is in, so she's responding directly to the message saying, I swore I heard one of the boys start to slip up and say Nolan was on the Palm Beach. Do we know which group was on the Palm Beach? This is actually very important in the investigation, okay? Let's keep going.
Palm Beach when Wyatt called him over to look at the Triton. He says he got his phone because he had it rowed out on the Triton, but the boat he says he rowed out on was Bart's boat, the Tide Line. Why did the Palm Beach leave if the Triton was sinking?
Again, a good question. Why, if the Triton was sinking, why would the Palm Beach leave? And like Nerdy Pink Panther said, who was actually driving the Palm Beach? Also, this is an important thing. Warren said he was sleeping at the same buddy's house on July 3rd and July 4th, and then said his stepdad came downstairs to wake him up. Was his dad sleeping over too? Let me just say this. Was Warren sleeping at his family's house? Because let's not forget that Warren's parents are divorced. His stepmama is a judge. That means that his mom will remarry. And if his stepdad came down the stairs, then did his stepdaddy spend the night, or was he at his stepdaddy's house? And remember how Warren said that it was pointing.
Don't buy that doorbell camera that's going viral right now to keep the porch pirates away. Do this instead. For only $22 a month, I gotta
Went upstairs to talk to the girl's father, to the place that he was staying. Was he talking to the girl's father, or was he talking to the girl? Was that his stepsister? And basically they were all spending the night at his mom's house that his stepdaddy lives in. Do you see how, because he's leaving out so much stuff? I feel like Warren's doing the same thing where he told the police, oh, we don't know the girl that Nolan was with, when you knew it was Katie the whole time. You keep saying, my buddy, her father, their thing. Was that your stepdaddy? And you were talking about your stepsister, which technically is not your father, but it's your mother's husband? Do you see how this gets deeper and deeper? Let's keep going. Again, it is what it is. This is Rashim's Reaction 777. Make sure you go give a follow, but let's keep going. And then also, I forgot to give her a shout out. This is In Love by Self on TikTok. Okay. This is her case analysis from August 1st. I think she makes some really good points. Let's get through this.
Call Cito, according to Warren, they had already attempted to use the tide line, Bart's boat, to pull out the Triton. It hadn't moved yet from where they were parked. Warren says in his interview that they had attempted to attach the ropes to the back cleats, and then it started rubbing on Bart's power pole, a device that's made to go into the ground and anchor it with a rod. They can cost from $4,000 to $6,000. They have the three boats, according to Warren, parked the Tide Line, the Palm Beach, and the Triton.
Now, we all know from the Cajun Navy report that this diagram is wrong. We all know this. The Cajun Navy report through pictures proves that. We now know that there's a fourth boat. The question is, was there a fifth boat? But it wasn't. It was the Triton, which was number one. Then it was Boat X. Nobody know who that boat is. Then it was the little mini one, which I think is the Palm Beach. And then it was Bart's boat. So there were four boats, okay? But let's keep going.
Where the stern, the back of the boat, is in waist-deep water. The bow of the boat, the front of the boat, is in neck-deep water. And then there's a 20-foot drop-off. And the water's like a washing machine out in front of it. Now we have Warren saying that he heard his friends calling to Nolan to get on the boat that they're leaving, etc., while he's working on the boat with Wyatt. And then we have a video showing that Nolan is on that side, the port side of the Triton, the same side that the Tide Line's power pole's on, before panning to show Warren on the Palm Beach and then showing the Tide Line, which places Nolan there, which leads me to my hypothesis that something happened when they were attempting to hook the boats up.
Exactly. When they were attempting to hook the boats up, something happened. We don't know what happened to Nolan, but we do know that whatever was going on, somewhere around 5 p.m., somewhere around 4:30, all the boats were together and all the boats left in a hurry. There was some type of altercation. The boats left in a hurry, so much so that they forgot to pull their anchor up. Again, she says they're all tied together. Witnesses have said on Horn Island for festivities, it's common when all the boats are hooked up together, people walk in and out of the side. They're almost like man-made alleyways where people are hanging out in the alleyways and behind the boats. Again, I will always say something happened. Really quick, Miss Katz, what's up? Thank you for the super chat. Said, hey, Tisa, let's refer to that mofo, Batum Tatum, as Detective Django because he would never made the cut. Exactly. We'll say Detective Django. We'll do that. Detective Django. Thank you, Miss Katz. And also, Proverbs Pretty, thank you for the super chat, said, Jolly was pointing out Warren infamously says that Nolan was last spotted around 3 p.m. How were you able to lay eyes on Nolan when you were pulling out? Exactly, when you were pulling out. Also, you see how big those boats are. You see how to pull out, you have to look around to make sure there's nobody around and yell, hey, we're pulling out. And everybody wades away. How is it that somebody was screaming at Nolan 3 times to get the F on the boat, but you didn't see him? And you're saying you last saw him 3 p.m., but you heard somebody screaming at him at 4:30, but you didn't see. And this is your best buddy. And the boats are only so big. And you heard Nolan say it back, but you never saw him. It doesn't make sense. Let's continue, right? Oh, I think this one is about this one I think is about, let me zoom this in 1 second. This one is about the grand jury. And I think it's very important that we actually hear it because he makes a few points. We all know how grand juries convene, very quickly goes through it, but he gives insight into the way this grand jury is being convened and the reason it's so effing weird. Listen to this.
I'm going to give you 8 points. As a former prosecutor, 30 years of experience, homicide prosecutors present 1,000 cases before the grand jury about the inside baseball of what the grand jury does. First, let's understand what a grand jury is. It is a body of people. It's completely controlled by the prosecutor. There's no judges, there's no lawyers for the family there, and therefore the prosecutor can turn the spigot on and off as to what information that grand jury sees.
Also, you guys, this is RBIANCHIES, Esquire, on Instagram. I believe he has a YouTube channel too where he breaks down true crime and stuff. But listen, he's a former prosecutor. Listen to this, okay?
Also, very importantly, this is a secret proceeding, and I mean secret. The judges cannot even get these transcripts to know what it is that the prosecutor did or they didn't do. Why is this important? Because there are 4 ways that the criminal justice process in Mississippi typically happens: investigation, arrest, initial appearance, and then presentation of the grand jury. But we're not doing any of that. So that says to me that they did not feel that they could file a complaint with probable cause to get an arrest and then file the typical procedure to the grand jury. Rather, they're just going into the grand jury, that secret room where the prosecutor can ask the grand jurors to either indict a case or not to indict a case. And typically speaking, I'll tell you from experience, having presented thousands of cases before grand juries, they typically do what it is that the prosecutor asks. In chart 2 here, you're going to see that you can do a number of different things when you go in to use a grand jury, and that's seek an indictment, that's investigate further to compel witness testimony and get documents, keep the investigation secret like we said, or to screen the case to see whether you're going to indict or if you're not going to indict. But the prosecutors already told us, and we'll have a clip where you can listen to this, that they already made a decision that they're going to go in to see whether or not anybody is going to be held responsible for this. That's an interesting tell, bing, bing, bing. Well, wait. If somebody was interested, if somebody shot somebody on the street, are you telling me you wouldn't arrest the person and then present the case to the grand jury? So why was there not an arrest already made here? Does this telegraph to us that they don't think that anybody is responsible? I don't know the answer to that question, but I can tell you prosecutors know before they go into the grand jury what they want that grand jury to do, and 99.9% of the time the grand jury does exactly what the prosecutor asks. So while the prosecutor's statement that every case in our county goes before a grand jury, yeah, that's true, because that's the only way you can get the case to the court in order to move it to trial. But that's usually last in the whole set of circumstances. You go to the grand jury at the end, not at the beginning. So while technically true, that statement was a little fuzzy to me. Why is this important? Why do they call this the prosecutor's playground? Because now the prosecutor can say, hey, I presented all the evidence to the grand jury, and the grand jury didn't indict, and therefore that's it, case closed. And no one can ever look at what evidence was presented or wasn't presented. That's why it's the prosecutor's playground. Guys, I got more inside tips. I'm going to have a longer video on this elsewhere on my YouTube channel that you can check out later today. But I want to give you those very basic points, the power of the prosecutor and the grand jury. Like, share, and follow for more.
Okay, you heard it. I actually want to rewind it because I actually think this was so good. And it lets us know how.
There's a reason tool brands like Bauer, Pittsburgh, and U.S. General are showing up in homes and garages all across America.
Bases, okay?
1, 2. Yeah, it's your boy Dabrand knows. You already know today is not Monday. Monday is the worst first day of the week. Always seem to feel it, never get enough sleep. All right, we do with that. All right, Tisha Tales. We on it. I hope they know we already solved this case, and they ain't mentioning nothing we don't already know, Tisha. Like, if you ever been locked up, you know this stuff already off the rip. You ever feel me?
Really quick, Constance Hamilton, thank you for the super chat. Said, stay on the case. As long as y'all with me, we're going to stay on this case. But again,
The tide lines, power poles.
I want to go back to what he said. Listen one more
Cases
time.
before the grand jury about the inside baseball, what the grand jury does. First, let's understand what a grand jury is. It is a body of people. It's completely controlled by the prosecutor. There's no judges, there's no lawyers for the family there, and therefore the prosecutor can turn the spigot on and off as to what information that grand jury sees. Also, very importantly, this is a secret proceeding, and I mean secret. The judges cannot even get these.
Same thing he said happens in the in there in that chambers. Same shit go on in the courtroom with the judge and the lawyer and the prosecutor, right? The judge, the lawyer, and the prosecutor sit here and play paperwork games and semantics with your life, and what they hand to the judge is what the judge got to go by. So when the dude be like, yo, don't say nothing, that's why, because they're only presenting to the judge what they want him to see. You know what I mean? So technically, these two people right here has got your hands. They playing games with your time and all that. You know what I mean? The judge gonna sentence you, yeah, according to what these motherfuckers right here put on that paperwork. Your lawyer included.
Transcripts to know what it is that the prosecutor did or they didn't do. Why is this important? Because there are 4 ways that the criminal justice process in Mississippi typically happens: investigation, arrest, initial appearance, and then presentation of the grand jury. But we're not doing any of that. So that says to me that they did not feel that they could file a complaint with probable cause to get an arrest and then file the typical procedure to the grand jury. Rather, they're just going into the grand jury, that secret room where the prosecutor can ask the grand jurors to either indict a case or not to indict a case. And typically speaking, I'll tell you from experience, having presented thousands of cases before grand juries, they typically do what it is that the prosecutor asks.
Now, this is very interesting in the fact that they typically do. So if they don't come back with an indictment, is that what the prosecutor was going for? Let's also not forget that the grand jury is so secret that not even the judge can get a transcript on the evidence presented. They might walk into there and be like, yeah, Warren had ice cream on Sunday. Nolan was this. They can present evidence the way they want. And because there is no defense, there's no pushback, there's nothing, they can present a very one-sided case and also hide the evidence. So many people say that when a grand jury gets convened and the prosecutors do not get an indictment, there's only 2 things. One, the person was completely innocent and the prosecution had nothing. Or 2, the prosecution presented evidence in a way that led the grand jury to believe that there was nothing to see here. Interesting that they're keeping everything secret. Also, by moving straight to a grand jury, even the public autopsy and everything else is completely sealed.
With the grand jury when they come back and say.
In chart 2 here, you're going to see that you can do a number of different things.
Oh, sorry, guys. Also, I want to give a shout out to Mouthpiece on everything. Thank you so much for becoming a member in the Tattletales family.
When you go in to use a grand jury, and that's seek an indictment, that's investigate further to compel witness testimony and get documents, keep the investigation secret, like we said, or to screen the case to see whether you're going to indict or if you're not going to indict. But the prosecutors already told us, and we'll have a clip where you can listen to this, that they already made a decision that they're going to go in to see whether or not anybody is going to be held responsible for this. That's an interesting tell, bing, bing, bing. Well, wait, if somebody was interested, I mean, if somebody shot somebody on the street, are you telling me you wouldn't arrest the person and then present the case to the grand jury? So why was there not an arrest already made here? Does this telegraph to us that they don't think that anybody is responsible? I don't know the answer to that question, but I can tell you prosecutors know before they go into the grand jury what they want that grand jury to do, and 99.9% of the time the grand jury does exactly what the prosecutor asks. So while the prosecutor's statement that every case in our county goes before a grand jury, yeah, that's true, because that's the only way you can get the case to the court in order to move it to trial. But that's usually last in the whole set of circumstances. You go to the grand jury at the end, not at the beginning. So while technically true, that statement was a little fuzzy to me. Why is this important? Why do they call this the prosecutor's playground? Because now the prosecutor can say, hey, I presented all the evidence to the grand jury, and the grand jury didn't indict, and therefore that's it, case closed. And no one can ever look at what evidence was presented or wasn't presented. That's why it's the prosecutor's playground. Guys, I got more inside tips. I'm gonna have a longer video on this elsewhere on my YouTube channel that you can check out later today. But I want to give you those very basic points, the power of the prosecutor and the grand jury. Like, share, and follow for more.
You think who came up with some dumbass rule like that, right? Like, yeah, only the prosecutor could be in there, right? For one, that's stupid, right? And then, whether he get prosecuted or not, you can't even look at what the evidence was that he presented to get him prosecuted or not. So if you fail, you can't even look at what he put in there to not get him prosecuted or not. Come on, man. What kind of dumbass shit is that, man? And this is America? We signed up for that? Brando.
You guys, listen, it's spoken. There's a lot to discuss. I wanted to bring it. Also, here's his handle in case you want to follow. RBINCHIE. I'm sorry. RBIANCHI Esquire, right? And of course, he's with the New Jersey Criminal Defense. You guys, listen, the experts are speaking. I don't know. It feels like the fix is in. Ben Crump has the fight of his life to actually seek justice, but that's not without the civil case uncovering so many things that the police in Jackson County cannot ignore. Anyway, you guys, listen, I have to get out of here. I have to make a few more videos. Please turn your notifications on. I'll try to go live later on tonight. There's a lot of developments coming, and we need to look at that Cajun Navy report a little bit more, okay? Anyway, you guys, listen, let me know what you think in the comments. Be respectful. Right? We want everybody healthy and happy so they can see justice. Martin's Moment says, Deep Dive T says, Cher paternal side is her family. Okay, there we go. There we go. We're going to go on a deep dive. Thank you so much, Martin's Moments, for that tip. I am going to make a video about it, and I'll try to be live later on in this evening. In the meantime, turn your notifications on. And I'll tell you, this is the last thing I'm going to say. The number one thing that we can do, me, you, because y'all, you're right. Me, you, the public can do is keep this case in the media. Do not let it die. I'm telling you, I feel like they're waiting for public interest to die down, and then the grand jury will convene. Then it'll be a no indictment, and it'll just be one of those sad cases. No matter how much anybody tells you to shut up, stop talking about it, or the idiots, let's just wait to see what the official reports say. Hell no. Talk about it. Share it. Investigate. Do what you need to, but the story needs to stay in light. It needs to stay in the media, because that is the only way we are going to get to the truth. Good, bad, or indifferent, we have to keep our eye on it, okay? Anyway, you guys, listen. Thank you for everybody that super chatted and for everybody that joined. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll jump into the comments section and start answering y'all.
She just went off crazy, huh?
Looking for a real estate investing app that helps you find off-market and discounted properties? Well, look no further than the Connected Investors app. It's a
Yo, this section of the show is sponsored by the stickermill.com. Go to stickermill.com/Dabrand, and your first 10 stickers are on me, baby. Now let's get into this.
Have the friends taken polygraphs?
Well, from my understanding, all but I believe one took a polygraph. From what was told to me, that they all passed.
Yo, shout out to Nancy Grace for catching this piece of shit in a lie. See, if she wouldn't have said anything else, he would have got away with this. But watch this. This is a lie.
Did they tell you they took a poly and passed?
All the boys except one, which is Warren, I believe, took a polygraph test. And it's an equivalent of a lot of Texas tests. And it's an equivalent of a lot of Texas tests.
Equivalent to a lot of Texas tests? That's like me saying I had sex with a girl. Well, she wasn't really a girl, but she was equivalent to a girl.
Not a traditional lot of Texas test, but it's the same theology
What
of
did
trying
they
to
take?
get to if a person is lying. I don't know the name of it. It's an equivalent of a lot of
So
technical
not
tests.
a
It's a different
You don't
methodology.
even know the name.
What?
I don't believe it was a polygraph test. I believe they took other stressors.
I had them pee on a stick because it was a pregnancy test.
But then
People were
the
telling the
answer
truth or
to
not.
did they
He's a
take a
goofy.
polygraph would be no.
No.
Well, yeah, I think it could.
Oh, now he's stuttering. Shut your stupid ass up. This son of a bitch, in my opinion, is getting paid by the families in Mississippi to cover this whole shit up. But let me know what y'all
Yeah.
think about this raccoon along with the rest of the
Yeah.
situation.
I
But
agree.
people are messaging me
Bootlicker.
and telling me that
Here we go with this. All right, so before I get too far into this, one, good afternoon. I'm doing shows now on Mondays and Wednesdays. A lot of y'all have been asking, can you do scheduled shows because you're missing my lives? So make sure to right now put in your phones or in your calendars every Monday and Wednesday at 12 o'clock, and then you won't miss my shows. This way we can get away from waiting on YouTube to send my videos out. You'll always know when I'm going live, and I'll be going live in other times also, but you'll know in particular Monday and Wednesdays is
Facts.
when I'll be going live. So do that before we do anything else. And of course, hit the like button and let's get it. So the reason why I'm here today and taking a break from the Charlie Kirk conversation is because this Nolan Wells situation is almost another Charlie Kirk situation. So let's look at the variables real quick. Charlie Kirk died right in front of his friends. Nolan Wells died right in front of his friends. We thought, or we still think, that his own friends unalived Charlie Kirk or had something to do with unaliving Charlie Kirk. Well, we see the same thing in this Nolan Wells situation. Another thing that nobody is thinking about is Charlie Kirk was unalived in Utah, which is a mainly Mormon city, which means virtually everybody in Utah, virtually every single person in Utah is a Mormon, which means they operate on code. They operate as one. So somebody dies that's not a Mormon, or an outsider comes in, and that person is looked at as an outsider. And if something happens to this outsider, like Charlie Kirk, and they die, nobody says anything. The camera person doesn't say anything. The person doing the paperwork at the court doesn't say anything. The lawyers don't say anything. The judges don't say anything. And that is how all of these secrets stay under wraps, because it's somewhat like a cult in Utah. So when you look at the Nolan Wells situation, guess what? Ocean Springs in Mississippi is exactly the same thing, except everybody isn't a Mormon. So this cult-like behavior is in a lot of these small towns, and we don't realize it. And a person can go to that small town or be a part of that small town, die, and the whole town covers it up. So in this situation with Nolan Wells, the main person that is being interviewed, I forgot his name, but his mother is the literal judge of Ocean Springs. You know, these small towns only have a couple, people working there as far as, leadership. So it's probably one judge, of course, one sheriff and a deputy, and that's probably it. It's probably 2 damn police officers in the whole Ocean Springs, Mississippi area, and they're the only 2 people that is going to report anything. So the coroner with Charlie Kirk is a Mormon, and I think Candace spoke on that. So the coroner in the Charlie Kirk case is a lesbian Mormon or something like that. So she's staying on code. So most likely, because we're still learning, all the variables, but most likely the same thing goes for the Ocean Springs coroner. They literally took his throat and another part of his body. Why did you take the most important part of this whole situation away from the cadaver. And then on top of that, they don't even show the parents the body of their son until his body got decomposed. I want you all to think about that. The boy is in water because I don't think he drowned. I think something else happened. But you leave the boy laying on a slab for 4 days, and then you let the parents view the body after the body is decomposing. This is crazy. So everybody hit the like button. Let's get into this. And then this piece of crap, this officer Tater Tot, he is making so many assertions. He's literally harassing the mother of a dead son. But at the same time, he's talking mess to us for harassing the wife of a dead husband. Think about that. The same son of a bitch, Officer Tater Tot, is running around telling us, leave Erica Kirk alone. She's a widow. Her husband died. Why do y'all keep talking about and making videos about this woman that actually lost her husband? And then this idiot goes to Mississippi and then make video after video after video of a woman's dead son. What the hell is the difference between making videos of a woman's dead husband and thinking the woman had something to do with it, and then you turning around and getting mad at and doing the videos about somebody's dead son? One is a widow and one lost their son. Why is one better than the other? Oh, I understand. One is white. Erica Kirk is white. So the white woman, we can't say nothing about the white woman, but this black woman, that's even worse because she lost her son. You can harass her. You can make all types of videos making him, the son, look bad. Tomorrow, he's on drugs. That's what he's about to say right here. This man is a piece of dog shit. So listen to how he discredits this young man that had a promising future and get mad at how we discredit Erica Kirk for her promising future because she literally took over her husband's company. But we can't say nothing about Erica Kirk, but you can say something about this woman's son. Listen to this shit. This is bullshit. Coon, along with the rest of this situation.
But people are messaging me and telling me that
bullshit.
There is heavy drinking and there's cocaine involved.
Now, I'm not going against this part. I think there was heavy drinking and I think there was cocaine involved. He didn't say anything wrong here, not yet. But listen to how this stupid piece of shit literally says the only person that was doing cocaine was this woman's dead son, not the 100 other people that were on a boat. Just this woman's dead son. This man is a piece of dog crap. Listen to this.
And there's a particular person. I know this person's name. I'm not going to disclose it. I'm going to go to the police first, and then I will disclose it if it doesn't interfere in the investigation.
And with that being said right here, this man is going to get sued. I'm going to do a different live stream about that. They're working on suing this fat tater tot looking person because this is defamation, because you can't turn around and paint this young boy who lost his life and say he was on drugs before the toxicology report comes back. If you're reading something off a piece of paper that says this is what the proof is, that's one thing. But him simply saying that he by himself, because like I said, I'm okay with all of them doing it because That makes sense. They're young kids. They're on a boat. There's no cameras. Understood, right? Wrong, but understood, right? But to point this boy out in a singular fashion and saying, I know this person that did this and I know that person that did that, and painting this young boy out to be the only person that was on drugs, like he had a drug problem, like it wasn't the 4th of July, that it was just that he's just a junkie. He needs to be sued for defamation because he doesn't have any proof. If he had proof, it wouldn't be defamation. But this is malice. See, when you file a defamation suit, the first thing the court is going to look at is this in malicious intent? Let me know in the chat right now. This piece of shit saying that Nolan Wells by himself was on drugs and that's the reason why he died. Is this done maliciously? Yep.
Yep, it is, man. And I believe he needs to be sued. Same way he was talking about how other people gonna get sued, he gonna get sued. Cause when he said that, it hurt me. It hit me in my chest. I said, what? I said, no, not Nolan. Not the cocaine. Huh? And he was the first one to say some silly shit like that too. You know what I mean? We talking about an 18-year-old kid, man. Whether he was or whether he was not, that wasn't for him to put out there. Toxicology report hadn't even came back. But yet already here's Officer Bootlicker yelling about somebody on cocaine. Technically, sir, I know the dealer. Huh? If you know the dealer, why you ain't lock the dealer up, bruh? Yeah, I agree with you, big dog. Mr. Let's Go. Mr. Let's Go. I agree with you. The bootlicker needs to get sued.
That's a no in the chat.
But this person allegedly was offering people cocaine, and someone close to Nolan, one of his friends,
he's going to say Nolan's friends said no to the cocaine, but Nolan Wells said yes. See, if he just said, hey, somebody on the boat had cocaine and they all were high, I'm not mad at that. But he's specifically singling out Nolan and saying other people said no to the cocaine. I hate this dude. I do not have a problem with Erica Kirk. I just think she's an idiot because I don't think Erica Kirk really did anything. I just think she's a dummy. I think she's stupid and incoherent, but I don't hate Erica Kirk. I have a certain amount of hatred for this dude because he's black.
I'm with you.
And he's doing this to other black people.
I'm with you.
And everybody,
exactly.
Say what's up in the chat to everybody else. I don't know if I agree with everybody, so everybody's good afternoon. Sorry, I didn't greet everybody, so good afternoon. Hey to everybody in the chat.
This person allegedly was offering people cocaine, and someone close to Nolan, one of
said no.
His friends told me that this person was offered cocaine and rejected it from this person.
You see how he's painting it out? He's saying this person or these people over here, they rejected the cocaine. So now he's saying
he trying to say
not everybody on the boat was doing it.
No. Hold on, Mr. Let's Go. Yeah, he's trying to paint a picture like there was a literally a drug dealer going around offering drugs to everybody on Horns Island. This dude sounds like a motherfucking pathological liar, man. I'm gonna keep it 100. You know what I mean? If there was anybody out there selling drugs, it was one of the buddies, man. Cause why would a drug dealer go to a deserted island and sell drugs? If I just wait on the shore, you motherfuckers gotta come to me. You niggas sound crazy if you believe that cockamamie bullshit story that Officer Bootlicker's about to tell you right now. That's unbelievable that he even concocted that shit.
drugs, but Nolan was. He's singling out this young boy as the only or one of the only people on the boat. Remember, we're talking about a boat. We're not even talking about the whole island. There's a drug dealer on the island like, hey, you want some drugs? You want some drugs? And a certain percentage of the people on the island, out of the hundreds of people that were on the island, said no. He's talking about there's 7 or 8 people that were on the boat. So he's making it look like the 7 or 8 people or the 6 people or the 7 people said no. But Nolan Wells said yes. I can't stand this freaking piece of crap.
I find that hard to believe as well. I
And
don't think that happened.
I was also told, and this person told me that it's over 100% chance that Nolan was using cocaine.
See, that's a lawsuit right there. That is a lawsuit right there. Because one, the legal side of this, who was the cocaine dealer? Because he said somebody was offered cocaine, which means somebody was dealing cocaine. Is that person going to be brought up on charges? Because he has literally, somebody's confession. And he's not a detective, and he's not a damn officer. He's a content creator like the rest of us. He's just fat, and he has hatred in his heart. That's the only difference between him and the rest of the content creators. He's not a detective. He's not a goddamn officer. Sorry, he's not an officer. So you're literally saying that you have evidence of drug use.
Where you get it from?
A drug dealer. And you're then putting it out on social media, on your big platform, when this information needs to be secret in order to potentially find and catch the drug dealer. Because if the drug dealer is watching this, they could just jump on a plane and get the hell up out of there until things slow down. And
ain't that the same reason why he was saying that the Knowles family shouldn't be doing what they doing, because they put out their autopsy prematurely, and now people who was involved is gonna know, and nigga, shut your bootlicking ass up. First and foremost, you just now said the dude was on cocaine. Nobody, just like Mr. Let's Go said, ain't nobody know that about till you told him that the drug dealer, like, damn, they own him and shit, I better get out of town. So you should be held liable for that, you bootlicker.
Go to family in New York or some shit, or, you know, move to Georgia or whatever, so they won't be brought up on charges. Because they're going to bring them in for questioning, because they're going to be like, hey, we have information saying that you in particular were dealing drugs on that boat. Yeah. And it was only 5 to 7 people on the boat. We're talking about the boat, not the island. So that means how many people was on the boat? I think it was 7 or 8 or whatever. But out of those people, see, this is kind of like I know what you did last summer type of situation. Is 7 or 8 people that are within this situation. And he's saying one of the 7 or 8 people either had possession of drugs or was dealing drugs. So out of those 7 or 8 people, it is a guarantee that somebody has to be brought up on charges, because he's literally saying he has information that this is true. And then he said it's 100% true. He didn't say, I think it's true. He didn't say it may be true. He said 100%
accurate.
% true. Somebody said 3 boats of friends. Okay, cool. At the end of the day, somebody there was dealing drugs. Are they going to be brought up on charges? This is bigger than just Nolan Wells this and Nolan Wells that. Because what if Nolan Wells did have drugs in the system? That boy or girl that was dealing the drugs needs to go to prison. because that would mean he was murdered. What are we doing here? So this stupid idiot is literally inadvertently solving the damn case for everybody else because he's so stupid.
I said
from
that.
this person.
I said that
From
Mr.
this person.
And I was also told, and this person told me that it's over 100% chance.
100% chance
that Nolan was using cocaine during this period of time.
Who is that person, man? We need to know who is told you that. Because he is a vital witness, man. He said he know the cocaine dealer directly. So we know we got him on lock because Tatum got that information for us. Now we got to know what else we need to know, Tatum. Because you got the information. And where you get it from, we need to know. Because if they done leaked shit to you that they ain't even leaked to the family, that's crazy right there.
Nolan by himself. He didn't say the kids were using cocaine because he can't say the kids were using the cocaine because everybody on that boat, they were underage. So, one, underage people are using cocaine, and he would literally be admitting it because he said he has a source. So the source most likely is a witness on one of the boats that seen people do the cocaine. He can't say that because the survivors of this situation would then be in trouble and their parents would be in trouble because it's their parents' boat. Them kids didn't buy them boats. Think about that. The parents would then be in trouble because it's the parents' boats. It's a planned event. Then the parents would then be in question. Do you know what happens on these boats? Because somebody just died. See, if somebody died, somebody has to go to prison. So one, this piece of crap has to protect the adults and the parents by saying only Nolan Wells was doing the drugs because I can't say that everybody else was doing the drugs because then everybody else that survived would get in trouble. Because this fat little person here was paid to go down to Mississippi and interview the boys in order to clear their names, to make it look like the boys that survived are the victims and not Nolan Wells, who died. They're literally being painted out to be the victims, and they're still alive.
This person said it was 150%.
Now it's 150%.
Sure that when the toxicology comes back, that Nolan will have cocaine in his system.
Oh, we have the Nolan Wells police report, and the friends have a little explaining to do. For reference, here is the MDMR Marine Patrol police report. You can see the incident report directly up there. It is public record, so you guys can look it up. I want to point your attention to two specific areas of this report.
And let me know in the chat, does this eerily sound like a Charlie Kirk Turning Point USA situation? Even though there was no exploding mic, even though there was no event, it sounds the same way from a systematic standpoint. Do y'all see what I'm saying? From a systematic standpoint, you unalive a person, make it look like, oh my God, I don't know what happened. Oh, all the people surrounding the person like they didn't have anything to do with it. And next thing you know, they start putting out all this propaganda and painting another person that survived as the victim. See, Erica Kirk is painted out to be the victim instead of Charlie Kirk, who was murdered. In this situation, Nolan Wells is painted out to be the problem. He was a drug addict. And because he was a drug addict and drowned because he was on drugs, now All the survivors are victims because all of us are attacking the survivors. Isn't that how they said about Erica Kirk? You're attacking a widow. She's a widow. The widow. She's a victim. It's the same shit. Kill somebody and then paint the killers of the person as the victim because social media is attacking the killers of the damn person. It's a systematic thing that these people are doing in these small towns. This shit is disgusting. Everybody hit the like button, everybody hit the like button, everybody hit the like button, everybody hit the like button. And thank y'all for being here.
Starting right here, and here is the first discrepancy right here. Dispatch said that her 18-year-old son rode to Horn Island on a vessel with friends. He was last seen around 1,500 hours. Here's the discrepancy. His phone was in a friend's truck.
His phone was on a boat because Nolan Wells' mother had to, like, she actually used some system, is an iPhone most likely. So they used Find My Phone or something like that. So Nolan Wells' mother actually put the little homing signal on the phone and then found the phone. So right here, the phone was on a boat.
I'm sorry.
No, technically the phone was on the boat, but then his boy put it in the car for some odd reason. Because when the parents got there to get the phone, he had to go to the car to get it. You understand? That's what his boy said. So let's not change up the story, Mr. Let's Go.
I thought all the friends said that the phone was still in the boat. And the second discrepancy is right here. Lieutenant Karen said that his deputies had spoke with several friends that traveled to the island on the vessel with Nolan, and they said that he left with the company of an unknown female. I'm sorry, what do you mean an unknown female? You all knew who Katie McCormick was and is.
Right. Why is she now an unknown female? But this is the shit that they do, y'all.
What do you mean an unknown female? You all knew exactly who he was on the island with. They were very clear about that. They knew who he was on the island with. But here they're saying, we don't know who she was. We know it was a girl, but we don't know who she was. All of a sudden, she went from having a name of Katie McCormick with all the recent media, covers that we've been seeing. But in the original police report, it was an unknown female.
Right.
Remember, this is just part one. There's a lot more.
I know that friend group that he was with is known for, I don't know if I can say the substance, but they're known for doing a certain substance.
They are known for doing a certain substance.
And that's the story we heard last week. Like, we've been knowing all this is old news, man. Y'all are slow with it, bro. We passed all this, man. You know what I'm saying? We gonna have to get up off of you, Mr. Let's Go, because y'all slow. You still talking about the phone was on the boat, Mr. A. All right, cool. I got you.
You see how different that is from he was doing a certain substance versus they? So this is the damage that Officer Tater Tot is doing to this case and to black people.
Some of us who have spoke to Nolan prior to the island date, we know that they were known for doing that substance. Another thing that we believe is, what if they peer pressured him into doing something, and again, with the mixture of alcohol and...
This is allegedly, y'all. This is allegedly. And Jesus just giving us his synopsis of what he feels. So allegedly, Jesus, you got to remember when you're getting on these panels, you got to say allegedly, because somebody will try to wrap you up.
Allegedly, coming from his friend group that knows him very well. I'm talking about teammates that played with him, went to school with him, and folks that see him every weekend. Allegedly, we believe that maybe something just didn't go the way they wanted it to. Maybe they were trying to have a little bit too much fun, and it was just a mistake that they covered up. But I know for a fact that friend group that they were with is known for a certain substance. So it does not surprise me whatsoever. And I'm almost certainly confident, allegedly, that there was that substance on that boat. I know we won't know till the body gets tested and all that, but, It's what makes sense to me. I don't believe he tried to swim back to the island or anything like that. There's just a lot of things that doesn't make sense. Why did they leave him in the first place? Why didn't they make sure he had a ride home?
And if you listen to this boy's voice, this young boy actually cares about his friend Nolan. You can hear how he's like, his voice is shaking. Nobody else's voice has been shaking throughout this whole situation. And we've heard from, I think, 3 different people. And they're like, yeah, I don't know. Nolan was my best friend. It's just been like this. This boy's voice is shaking. This is the first time I've heard one of Nolan Wells' friends have a visceral, natural, sad reaction to Nolan Wells.
I don't know if y'all remember that series on Netflix, man, when the football player dude, his father was like well known, so they watched out for him all his life, and then when he went off to college, he was playing football, but his mom was still in the hood, so he used to go back and forth. This is the type of this remind me of, because his black friends cared about him. His white college friends, they said, this is my best friend. But he was only, when he went to college. When he went off, right? Those his college buddies and his people he hanged where he lived at. You see, he quit his voice, yo, man, why they did this? That's his boy. The mother dude, yeah, you know, Nolan, he was my best friend, you know. But then there was my buddy, you know, he was my buddy, you know, those type, you feel me? Yeah, Nolan, he was my best friend, yeah. Yeah, my best friend. Yeah, I remember we used to meet up at the Waffle House, yeah, my best friend, yeah. Yeah, I never been to his house, of course not, I've never been to the nigga's house. I mean, I've never been to Nolan's house. Yeah, never been there, yeah.
Dying. Nobody else seemed to care. But this, if you listen to his voice, he actually cares. The only person that cared about the boy.
That was me and my friend group that I typically hang out with. I mean, Nolan, yes, was in that, but if it was me and my 4 close friends, I'm not leaving that island until I leave with my friend.
Do y'all hear the shaking in his voice, or is it just me?
Have the friends taken polygraphs?
Well, from my understanding, all but I believe one took a polygraph. From what was told to me, that they all passed.
Yo, shout out to Nancy Gray. Oh, hold on, I played this already.
See how that bootlicker tried to nigga rock us once again? You know what I mean? See, he privy to certain information that we not. So if he come out here and be like, yes, all these guys except for one has given a polygram test, and they all passed. You know what I mean? We supposed to accept that as his authority. Like, oh, that's Tatum. He saying that. Oh, they must have took that joint and passed. That's what's up, right? It took Nancy Grace, because we couldn't get him to stop lying. We couldn't get him to stop lying. He just lied to our face. Like, we ain't nothing. Man, listen, he took a polygraph, man. That's it, man. That's what he did to know. Now, when it come down to Nancy Grace, you know what I mean? He had to admit that it wasn't actually a polygraph. It was an audio detection in your voice type situation that came on your watch in the Cracker Jack box type situation. Huh? Tatum? Bootlicker? Tried to slide one over. I saw it coming. Go back, check my feed. I've been talking about this bum bootlegger. I said he was a bootlegger a long time ago. I saw it in his eyes. He just the way the motherfucker move. Nah, bootlegger move. When they move, they be like. They only doing that shit when you ain't looking. When you ain't looking, they be like. When you looking, they be like that. But when you ain't looking, bootlegger. Take him a bootlegger. That's a fact.
All right, so let's get to the main part of this that I want to share. Is this here.
People in the black community who who are going to say, I can't believe you had that Brandon Tatum on. He's not a real black guy. He attacks the black cause. It doesn't matter that he's black. He's worse than a white racist. He's worse than a white racist. He's worse than a white racist.
That is a fact. And the crazy part about this, even white people know that Brandon Tater Tot is worse than a white racist. Even white people know about this dude. This man is a piece of crap to everybody. But you won't believe this, though. Well, you might believe this. He works for the IHOPians. So that's the first thing. So he's not just a black racist. He is pro IHOPia. So he's against all of us. He wants all of us subjugated, not just black people. He doesn't just hate black people. He hates America. He hates Americans. And somebody said they looked up his net worth. Officer Tatum, who is just simply a content creator that used to be a damn street cop. He's worth $11 million. He rides around in a damn Ferrari. And this is not me being a hater because I don't have a Ferrari. So shout out to him for having a Ferrari. But how is a content creator, just like the rest of us, because I can't afford a damn Ferrari, doing this what I do does not make me $11 million. How do you have $11 million, sir? Where did you make your money? And somebody said, what is IHOPian? Can somebody explain to, because I can't say it, somebody explain to the people in the chat, who is IHOPians and what does that mean? See, the little Gary Melton dude and the Tater Tot dude are two guys that have been bought from IHOPia to talk shit about the rest of us. So just so you know, it's very lucrative to go and sell your asshole to IHOPia. Yeah, the tiny hats. Thank you. But the IHOPians, if you don't know who the IHOPians is, let the people in the chat are letting you know. Just look at the chat. And please don't keep saying the I word because I don't want this video like to get shadow banned. But enough of you have said the word, so nobody in the chat say the I country again, okay? Let them scroll up because I don't want this video to get shadow banned, all right? But this man is allegedly worth $11 million and is out of him selling out black people and selling out American people, selling out white people because some people just got to take care of their family. So to a certain degree, I'm not mad at Officer Talmud or Officer White Dick Up the Ass. I'm not mad at him because he has to do what he has to do to feed his family. Some people work hard to feed their family. Some people sell their asses to feed their family. So it is what it is. So I actually feel sorry. I feel pity for men, grown-ass men that feel the need to sell out their own people for some money. I feel sorry for that dude because he's the worst part of America. He's the worst part of black people. But I understand. You got to get your money. You know, he's just like a stripper that is selling ass on the side in order to feed her kids. I'm not mad at the stripper that got to sell ass after she gets off the pole because she didn't make a lot of money that night. Like, a lot of these men have to sell their asses also. and I'm not mad at that. So I don't hate the stripper, and I don't hate the man that has to sell ass to pay his bills. It is what it is. And I'm pro strippers. I'm pro strip clubs. So that's not a slight to strippers. I love the strippers. You know, I don't go to strip club all the time, but I am pro stripper. I don't see, you know, women being strippers as terrible human beings. But I do see this man as a terrible human being. That's the difference.
What do you think, Nolan, how Nolan would feel about how this all has transpired with Benjamin Crumb, with, you know, the statements from his mom, with the accusations against you and his other friends? You know, how would you think he would address this or feel about this?
Well, I know people like to use the term, they would turn over in his grave.
So right here, what female stripper?
He said Nolan would be turning over in his grave if he knew how we was treating them. How rich is you, boy? You can't even tell the people what happened to Nolan and got the nerve to say Nolan be turning over his graves if he knew how he was treating you. Nolan be throwing thunderbolts if he find out y'all niggas got away with whatever the silly shit y'all did. And if it wasn't y'all who did it, y'all sat there and ain't say nothing about who did, right? So you just as guilty, my man. So there you go. Cause y'all ain't no way y'all can tell us, yo, we left from on the island. Katie saying he went with y'all. So what is it, bro? You should know, man. You gonna tell us you left early, so you ain't got to answer. Oh, no, I was mad. I just got into a fight. Who you got into a fight with, man? Because we don't know that dude either yet. You know what I'm saying? Don't play with us, homeboy. Somebody turning over their grave because you? That's how you wear your hat backwards? Or are you trying to portray yourself to be a black man? Get out of here, boy. Talking about we got our back. Yeah, they got your back. That's why they got you up there doing this little dumbass interview with the bootlicker. And got your ass prosecuted for nothing because you could have stayed out of it. Because now they're going to know you tried to tamper with evidence, boy, because you know that wasn't you talking about, give me my phone. Woo, you ain't even have a reason to be asking for no phone. None. You ain't had no reason to be asking for no phone. You said you was fighting, you just was in the water, and you got into a fight with a guy because he told you stop talking to your girl like that, right? And your girl, she must be a motherfucking, she dove under and just disappeared and shit, huh? Y'all stories ain't making no sense. You said you was in the water with your girl. She was mad at you. You told her, I want a beer. She told you, go get it yourself, huh? And dove under the water and disappeared on your ass. Like the Gina the Latin or the Latin, some shit like that. And then here come homeboy talking about, yo, man, you better watch how you talk to your girl around me, man. And y'all two got into a fight. So your phone was on the boat, right? Because that's where y'all leave your phones when you're in the water, because you was in the water. So you left your phone on the boat. You in the rumble on the beach. Your uncle looked at you. You jumped on the boat. So you should have your phone. Why you yelling for your phone, homeboy? We don't want to hear that, man. Now you liable too, man, just for jumping out there, man. You put yourself in this and now you in it, dummy.
October 3074. I'm against male strippers. I shun male strippers. Female strippers. Only go and see female strippers. Don't go see male strippers. Y'all are hilarious. But this right here is literally black on black crime right in front of your face. You have two black men that hate black people sitting in front of each other, shitting on black people inadvertently, subtly. So this is one of Nolan Wells' alleged friends and he shits on everybody. He shits on Nolan Wells' mom. He shits on Nolan Wells. He literally is doing what the Tatum dude has been doing to us with the Charlie Kirk, Erica Kirk situation. How dare you talk about this woman and she's a widow? But in this situation, he's like, how dare you talk mess about us? They act like they are the widow. So when you look at the people in this situation, the survivors of this boat incident are acting like Erica Kirk. They're sitting there saying, I forgive him. I forgive. Like, they literally are operating like they are Erica Kirk. And Tater Tot is acting like Andrew Colvett at Turning Point USA. This is the systematic way that they change the narrative of shit. So the boy is Erica Kirk, and Officer Tater Tot is Turning Point USA.
If Nolan could dig himself out of his grave right now, he would.
If Nolan can dig himself out of his grave, he would. That is the most disgusting interpretation of somebody's dead friend that I've ever heard in my whole life.
That ain't his friend. That's why he could say that like that. You know what I mean? For him to say some shit like that, somebody would dig themselves out their grave for him. Like, you know, you see the entitlement right there? He would dig himself out of his grave. He'd be turning over in his grave. For you? For you and Warren and Wyatt and Bart? Nah, man. For Katie? Nah, Katie won't even come to the forefront and say, look, man, this is what they did to him. So Katie, as far as I'm concerned, is involved with that situation right now. You taking too long to say anything, shorty. That's crazy to me. I don't even know what's going on to the point why they still even entertaining the fact that y'all don't know what's going on. Because if we don't know what's going on, we need to get to the fact of the matter is that y'all told us. He said he stayed with her. She said he went with y'all. So all y'all motherfuckers coming in. That's it.
If my dead best friend can dig himself out of his grave, he would?
He wouldn't.
What does that even mean? This is crazy. If he can dig himself out of it, that is so morbid.
They would turn over in his grave. If Nolan could dig himself out of his grave right now, he would. If Nolan could dig himself out of his grave right now, he would.
What?
No doubt. Nolan would be livid is an understatement. Nolan would never want anything pursued this way at all. I think he would be really upset with his parents about how
He said, I think Nolan Wells would, one, become a zombie and dig himself out of the grave, and then start yelling at everybody like, how dare you blame my friends as a zombie, right? Because he just digged himself out of a grave. And then the zombie would then start fussing at his own mother because his mother is a terrible person for trying to find out what happened to her son. What
kind of punk shit is that, right? What kind of sucker ass friend is that, right? But I'm your best friend. I'm dead. You jumping on the bandwagon with these dudes to disrespect my mama, boy? That ain't my friend. And he ain't gonna turn over in his grave, and he ain't gonna dig himself out of his grave for you clowns. What he gonna do? He's gonna haunt you motherfuckers from the grave. You heard? Get him, Nolan.
In the whole hell are we doing here? But this is what I'm saying. These are two raccoons talking to each other, from raccoon to raccoon. Imagine blaming a boy's mother for just simply trying to find out what happened to her son And the friends of the woman's dead son is like, the mother is out of line for asking questions. Who else is painted out to be terrible people for asking questions? Us. For the Charlie Kirk situation. We're looked at as crazy. We're looked at as psycho for simply asking questions. What Charlie Kirk literally inspired all of us to always do, ask more questions. He said that before he died. So we're simply asking questions. Nolan Wells' mother is simply asking questions. And then this man's mother is demonized for asking questions. I have kids, and my kids are grown. So I empathize with this whole situation because as a parent, I would be going crazy. I would be not just asking questions. Somebody would have gotten hurt if this happened to my kid. I'm not just asking questions. I'm going to prison if I think somebody killed my kid. I don't even give a damn if I'm wrong. Somebody's going to get hurt. But this woman isn't taking the law in her own hands like I would if something happened to my kids. She's just asking questions. And how dare this little bastard that probably doesn't even have a father. See, Nolan Wells had a father. This little bastard probably doesn't have a father. And for him to sit on a damn podcast, a raccoon podcast, and actually say that the mother of a dead child is out of line, I would love to go to Mississippi and slap the shit out of this boy. I would slap the shit out of this boy.
How they went about the situation. I think he would be really upset with his parents about how they went about the situation. I think he generally would. I don't think he wouldn't support it.
I'm starting to get a little angry, so I'm gonna be quiet for a second because I'm gonna get on here and start cussing. So I'm just gonna be quiet and just play the video because as a parent, like for a kid to turn around and say how I feel about my child is wrong would make me just slap the shit out of the boy, bro. Like I'm just, let me be quiet. I'm just like, I want to just punch something right now because I'm a fucking parent.
I know that for 110%. I know he wouldn't support any of it. I think he would want the truth and he would search for answers. I think he would want the truth and he would search for answers.
Got his ass. He just admitted that somebody, whoever that somebody is, murdered Nolan. Yep. Why would Nolan want to come back to life and look for answers if he just simply drowned? He was murdered.
But he wouldn't go about it like this.
So I want y'all to think about this. If I died in a boating accident and I drowned, and if I was to come back to life, I would go back to being dead because there are no answers to find because I witnessed myself drowning. Why would I be searching for answers when I witnessed myself going under the water like blah, 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 blah. I witnessed myself being drunk. I witnessed myself not being too tired to swim. I would have witnessed myself dying. So why would I come back to life and start searching for answers? The only person that would be searching for answers if they had the opportunity to come back to life would be somebody that was murdered. So in my opinion, because I don't want to get sued by none of these little bastards, this literally is proof that Nolan Wells was murdered. But let me know if I'm wrong. Am I jumping out the window by looking at this as verifiable proof that Nolan Wells was murdered? Let me know in the chat. Am I wrong? Did he just say enough to prove that Nolan Wells was murdered by somebody? Because if you know that he drowned, why would Nolan Wells come back searching for answers? He would know that he drowned because he was the last witness to him drowning. Because according to them, nobody else seen him drowning except for Nolan Wells. So why the hell would a person that witnessed themselves drowning come back asking for answers? Am I wrong? Am I crazy? Because I think this is a smoking gun. And I think this will hold up in court. His words are suggesting that Nolan Wells was murdered and he doesn't know why or how he was murdered. Because he would have come back searching for answers. So one more time. Got his ass. One more time. Because I think this is the smoking gun.
I think he would be really upset with his parents about how they went about the situation. I think he generally would. I don't think he wouldn't support it. I know that for 110%. I know he wouldn't support any of it. I think he would want the truth and he would search for answers. I think he would want the truth and he would search for answers.
Got his ass. He just admitted that somebody, whoever that somebody is, murdered Nolan. Yeah. Why would Nolan want to come back to life and look for answers if he just simply drowned? He was murdered.
But he wouldn't go about it like this. He wouldn't let us get dogged out like this. If no one could have spoke up, he would have already said something about our friend group. And
see how he's painting himself out to be a victim? I think you are a disgusting human being when somebody that you're close to dies and now you are painting yourself out to be the victim. Not the family of the person that died, not the person that actually died. You, the survivor, that can go home to your family. You can pet your dog. You can still go out to eat. You can go out on a boat and get high again. You can live the rest of your life. You can go play football. You can be on a podcast. But you are the victim? When the mourning the family that are mourning their son doesn't have a son anymore, but your little bastard ass is a victim, and you actually think the first thing Nolan Wells would do if he was to come back to life is to run around defending your stupid ass? You think that's the first thing he would go and do? Are you dumb? Or are you a murderer? Or are you an accessory to a murderer? So are you dumb, or are you a murderer? Or are you an accessory to a murderer? Or are you an accessory to a murder? But the one thing you're not is a damn victim. You little bastard.
saying, yo, you're on the wrong path.
Listen to the wording, on the wrong path. Wouldn't he just come back to life and say, hey guys, my friends didn't murder me. I just drowned. This was my fault. So this guy is literally admitting that there was foul play because we're going down the wrong path. Okay, what path do we go down if there is a path? Because if he simply drowned, there wouldn't be a path to go down.
He'd be mad. Like, he would be mad.
And just a side note, I just want to say this. Sorry. Why do fat people always wear all black? Have y'all noticed that? Fat people love to wear all black. So Officer Tater Tot, he has titties. You can see that he has titties. And not only does he have titties, he's a man and his titties are over here. They're literally falling to the side like a woman's titties. Like, look at his titties. Fat people always wear all black because black kind of like hides fat. I don't know if y'all see that. But do you see how his titties are to the side like a woman? Officer Tater Tot literally has woman titties. Everybody look at his titties. He has woman titties. Fat people always wear black. You see the boy, he's wearing light blue because he's not fat. So Officer Talmud, Officer Tater Tot, Officer Big Titties, that's his new name. Officer Big Titties has woman drooping titties. So his new name is Officer Titties. Shout out to Officer Titties. That man has some big ass titties. Around, there wouldn't be a path to go down. Hold on, I kind of like interrupted myself. Let me back it up. The path, because if he simply drowned, there wouldn't be a path to go down.
He'd be mad. Like, he would be mad. Why, on the Tuesday after where has your civil rights been broken? He brought Benjamin Crump to stir up a community that's already tight-knit.
So listen to this. This right here is this young bastard saying what we've already learned about the Charlie Kirk situation. He's literally about to say, we at Ocean Springs, or whatever the hell this little city is named, he's going to say, we are tight-knit and we aren't going to snitch on each other. Just like the people in Utah with the Charlie Kirk incident. So listen to the proof, more proof, that this whole thing is a cover-up, just like the Charlie Kirk incident. Watch this. He's going to literally admit that they're covering up a potential murder and nobody's going to snitch. Oh, I see you, Kara. Hold on. Oh, no, I know that's you, Kara. I know you changed your name. Phoenix is hot. But yeah, I see your face. What's up, Kara?
Where has your civil rights been broken? He brought Benjamin Crump to stir up a community that's already tight-knit. Yeah, we might not be best friends with everybody, but I promise, if you're talking about Ocean Springs as a whole, Ocean Springs is going to have Ocean Springs back.
Y'all see that, right? But he goes farther. He almost threatens people by saying, Ocean Springs, we with the shits. You come down to Ocean Springs, we're going to beat you up. Just listen to the words he's saying as he holds him, as he's going like this. Like he's literally subconsciously saying, subtly saying that we are a cult. He's literally saying we are a cult.
But I promise, if you're talking about Ocean Springs as a whole, Ocean Springs is going to have Ocean Springs back.
See, we're a cult.
Ocean Springs is going to have Ocean Springs back. 110%. We back each other. Everybody I've seen, we back each other.
Because we're a cult. There are cults all over the place. I've spoke on this before, but some of you watching have to be careful of being in a cult. You could be in a cult at your job. You could be in a cult as a Democrat. You could be in a cult as a Republican. You could be in a cult as a woman. You could be in a cult as a single mother. You could be in a cult as a modern man. You could be in a cult as a black man. You could be in a cult as a white man. You have to be careful of inadvertently being a part of a cult. And a cult is simply a group of people that no matter what that group does, they're a victim of the people that's calling out the cult. So keep that in mind. Cults aren't just these devil-worshiping people that do all this crazy shit. And a friend group, exactly. Your friend group can be a cult. So a cult, I'll say it again, is literally a group of people that no matter what that same group of people do, that group of people will never be held accountable for their actions. And that group of people will always paint themselves out to be the victims of the people that is calling out the cult. This boy is in a cult, and he's literally saying he's in a cult. This is a cult, what he's saying. There wouldn't be a path to go down.
He'd be mad. Like, he would be mad. Why, on the Tuesday after where has your civil rights been broken? He brought Benjamin Crump to stir up a community that's already tight-knit. Yeah, we might not be best friends with everybody, but I promise, if you're talking about Ocean Springs as a whole, Ocean Springs is going to have Ocean Springs back. Ocean Springs is going to have Ocean Springs back.
Because they're a cult.
110%. We back each other. Everybody I've seen, we back each other. And for them to push this narrative and really push it, just shows me is like, you have no idea.
You have no idea is what they call dog whistling.
Yeah.
That is a dog whistle. Say yes or no in the chat if you agree with me or if you understand what
Yeah, I agree with you, man. He's trying to tell everybody around the town, hey, man, we stick together, man. And we here, man. You know what I mean? Step out of line and you might be next. You understand me? Huh? Yeah, we get the dog whistle, man. We get it.
I'm saying, talking mess about the people at Ocean Springs, you have no idea who you fucking with. That's literally what he wants to say. You have no idea who you fucking with. We'll kill your ass if you come down here, just like we killed Nolan Wells. That's literally what he's saying.
Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button.
Make sure to hit the like button. Make sure to hit the like button. Make sure to hit the like button. But do you guys agree or do you disagree?
Hit the like button.
That he's saying you don't know who you fucking with. We will kill you just like we killed Nolan Wells.
Push this narrative and really push it. Just shows me is like, you have no idea who you're dealing with.
See, right there. He wanted to say you have no idea who you fucking with.
Yep.
He said you have no idea who you dealing with. He wanted to say you have no idea who you fucking with. He's saying that this cult is dangerous. Just like Turning Point USA is a cult, and they're dangerous. These Ocean Springs people are dangerous. That's literally what he said.
Really push it. Just shows me is like, you have no idea who you're dealing with or who you're messing with.
See?
And I think he's taking the grieving parents and manipulating and turning this and making it sound all bad.
Somebody died. It is all bad. You stupid idiot. It is all bad. How is it not all bad? Your friend is dead. You don't think it's all bad? Your friend is dead, you stupid idiot. It's all bad. Unless y'all killed him, then it isn't all bad because y'all wanted him gone. If that's what was happened. If that's what happened.
All bad because nothing's like that.
So let's go a little farther.
One of Nolan Wall's homie, Bart, is absolutely panicking. Bart, after the audio got released, the audio is what people believe implicates him.
And let me say something about Poetic Flacco. If you don't follow this guy, he's an excellent content creator. Make sure to follow Poetic Flacco. He makes great content. But this young man, especially on the heels of what we just heard, this young man, Poetic Flacco, literally said the other day that he's planning on going to Mississippi to find out what happened. And he's going to go down to Ocean Springs as a black man to ask people questions. And just like in Utah, this could potentially be dangerous because just like the little raccoon boy said earlier, he said, you have no idea who you're dealing with. Poetic Flacco could potentially be in danger by going down there as a black man in Mississippi, trying to talk to cult members to find out who, why, and how Nolan Wells died. This young man can be in grave danger. So if you are a fan of Poetic Flacco, if you are familiar with Poetic Flacco, I need you, and if you watch his content, I need you to go in his comments or send him a DM and say that Mr. Let Go said that Ocean Springs is a cult. And if you go down there asking questions, something may happen to you. So you may not want to go down there, or if you go down there, you may want to go down there with outside security. Don't go down there with Ocean Springs police or Ocean Springs security, because they're going to do your ass, or potentially do your ass, just like they potentially did Nolan Wells. And they're going to cover your ass up. And next thing you know, we're going to be on YouTube asking what happened to Poetic Flacco. So if you know of Poetic Flacco, you watch his content, go in his comments and say, Mr. Let Go said it's a cult down there and you are in grave danger if you go down there. And if you do go down there with outside security. Don't go down there and pay somebody in Ocean Springs to protect you, because they're going to get you up out of here. So shout out to Poetic Flacco.
One of Nolan Wall's homie, Bart, is absolutely panicking. Bart, after the audio got released, the audio is what people believe implicates him in this Nolan Wall's murder. And because of this, we've seen he has given the police 20 witnesses that they ain't know before. So why was on this information? But he gave them 20 witnesses. And they are also sending lawsuits and cease and desist out to anybody that mentions him in this Nolan Wall situation. So,
and I'm gonna say this to Bart. Fuck you, Bart. Don't nobody care about your little cease and desist. Fuck you. Fuck all your little weird ass friends. And I think you and your friends are covering up a murder. Do something about it, you little bastard. Fuck all of you little people involved in this damn murder. Fuck all y'all. Ain't nobody scared of you little bastards. Y'all are children. Fuck y'all.
Facts. 100%.
I just needed to put that on record.
And I got to put it on record as well. I think y'all...
This is what TMZ said about...
I think y'all covering something up. There's no way y'all gonna tell us that y'all just left Nolan Wells on a beach somewhere and he decided to stay with Katie. And Katie said he went with y'all. So what are we to believe? That y'all, that the C-Toad call was fabricated? Why would she add something to that? You think we stupid, don't you? Oh, so what they gonna try to say next? Yo, Ben Crump, you know you can't use that footage because it's been doctored. Man, we had professionals do this thing here, you understand, man? If you needed it to have to be done, you would have had to go to these same people, you know what I mean? It's authenticated. So let's get this shit on the show on the road, because I don't see no reason why y'all would believe that this girl would put anything to the tape. Like, that just don't make no sense. All this shit going on right now, she gonna add shit to a tape. Anybody believe she added some shit to a tape, fuck you too, because you's a dumbass nigga too.
Bart and the 20 witnesses earlier today.
They're going after one OnlyFans model / influencer who has voiced her theory about...
She's not an OnlyFans model. They're going after her and they're painting her as an OnlyFans model.
It's okay. She said she's glad they did that. She said she got more. They're giving her mad free publicity. Goddamn.
In order to embarrass her, to get her to get off the case. The woman is not an OnlyFans model, just so you know. See, TMZ is a part of this bullshit too. TMZ, fuck y'all too. TMZ is a part of this cover up too, inadvertently, or I would say subtly. I'm not saying TMZ is being paid by anybody, but TMZ, for whatever reason, is trying to cover up this situation and they're trying to change the narrative also. So fuck TMZ too. I just want to say that.
They're going after one OnlyFans model / influencer who has voiced her theory about Bart being involved. Her name is Kimberly, and she is the recipient of a cease and desist letter from Bart's attorney.
See? And if she ain't no OnlyFans model, she should sue them for defamation. Because now everybody think I'm some type of sex worker. They keep calling me, asking me for the booty and all that. What I'm gonna do? It's because of Charles and them niggas on TMZ. Facts. We witnessed it. Get your paper, boo.
I don't know if Kimberly is all that scared of this lawsuit.
And I'm gonna read the super chats in a minute. I see all the super chats coming in. So drop your super chats now, and I'll read them in probably like 5 to 10 minutes. So if you got a super chat, if you got something to share, drop it in the super chat, and I'll read the super chats in a minute.
Based on after she got that cease and desist.
You want to sue me? I am poor. I have nothing.
Imagine their strategy of trying to call me an OnlyFans model as if that would be some sort of negative thing. Do you all understand how this works? Marketing is expensive. I don't want to pay for the marketing. Y'all are paying for my marketing.
She has no shame. Yo,
she might as well be a damn model because they're marketing her as one. So hey, join my OF.
Y'all picked the wrong person to go after. The lady is telling me I got nothing to lose. This right here, talking about Nolan Wells, breaking this news, this is all I have. I'm gonna do this until the wheels fall off. You can't beat this, bro.
So this is what they're trying to do. So the little Bart dude, you can suck ass. Nobody gives a shit. You're a little child. Ain't nobody scared of no damn child. We can think what we want to think. I don't have any proof that you did anything, but I can unmaliciously say that I think one of you little bastards unalived the boy. I can say that because it's my opinion, you little bastard. I think somebody scared of some damn children. Fuck all of y'all in your little coat. All right, let's keep going.
Mentioned that he spoke with the deputies. Friends claimed they didn't know the girl he left with. Right here, 1:30.
All right, so let me back this up a little bit. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. All right, somebody said they want to hear the like button song, so I'm going to play the like button song, and then we're going to get back to this. Y'all want to hear it, so the people like, no, play the video. They want to hear the like button song, okay?
Everybody hit the like button. 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 If you got something to say, drop it in the comments. Don't be acting afraid. What? Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. If you got something to say, drop it in the comments. Don't be acting afraid. Drop your city in the chat. Let me know you at. Drop your city in the chat. Let me know you at. Drop your city in the chat. Let me know you at. Drop your city. What? Drop your city in the chat. What? Drop your city. What? Drop your city in the chat. Drop your city in the chat.
All right, I had to do that for my people. I love the song as much as y'all do.
Hey, no.
And the only
Hey, listen, I don't own the rights to that song, but it caught me. You know, it was pretty good. Hey, Mr. Let's Go. That was pretty jazzy. You got your little drop the jump off in the chat. You know, I got my Follow Me song too, man. I might fuck around and play it for you one day, man. You know, but nah. Right now, we're gonna keep it moving. Let's get back to this commentary.
The time I get to hear the song is when I'm on live with y'all, so I love the song too.
Nolan Wells deniers. Why do you think that his friends told the cops that they didn't know the girl that he went with? Weird how in Warren's little interview he fails to mention that he spoke with the deputies and several friends claimed they didn't know the girl he left with. Right here, 1:30 in the morning, even though they were supposedly texting with Katie, right? Didn't get their story straight yet. Right there, in black and white, the boys lied. Or are we going to pretend that this isn't evidence too?
And real quick, Shout out to Shauna. Thank you for the $10 Cash App. And let me read the super chats right now. And if anybody drops any more, I'll come back and read them also. Okay, so let's see. Busby, thank you for the silver star. I don't understand the jewel thing, but thank you. Thank you. More stars, the better. Shout out to Shauna again for becoming a member. Thank you, thank you, thank you. She's the same person who dropped the super chat. A Cash App. So thank you, Shauna. Shout out to Busby again for 10 jewels. Floating heart. Thank you. Shout out to Busby again. 100 jewels, or is it 2 jewels? I don't know what that is. So 10 jewels. Thank you. Busby, thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you. Shout out to Rachel Hernandez with the 10 jewels. All right, I appreciate that. All right, one day I'll figure out what the jewels mean, but thank y'all. I appreciate you. Keep dropping the jewels. Keep dropping the jewels. I love it. Drop the super chats, drop the jewels. I appreciate it. And I want to point out this woman right here. She is very good. Her name is, I screenshotted her page. Let's see. Screenshot it somewhere. Her name is Jay Megan. Jay Megan. So make sure to follow her on Instagram as well as TikTok. Her name is Jay Megan. She's so in depth. I don't think I've ever seen a content creator make a 1-minute video with so much in-depth information in her. She breaks it all down. So shout out to her.
Hey, Nolan Wells deniers. Why do you think that his friends told the cops that they didn't know the girl that he went with? Weird how in Warren's little interview he fails to mention that he spoke with the deputies and several friends claimed they didn't know the girl he left with. Right here, 1:30 in the morning. Even though they were supposedly texting with Katie, right? Didn't get their story straight yet. Right there, in black and white, the boys lied. Or are we gonna pretend that this isn't evidence too?
Nolan's mother was not given access to his body.
And this young lady right here, she got a fat ass also. Like, she be on there shaking her ass too. But shout out to her. But she has some excellent breakdowns. Also, I DM'd her because I wanted to invite her on the show. Well, really, anybody that's a content creator and they're talking about the Charlie Kirk situation or the Nolan Wells situation.
Yo, Mr. Lecko, you just said Shorty got a healthy derriere. Ain't gonna have the nerve to say you want to invite on the show. My man, you can't be stalking online like that, bro. Like, what's wrong with you, bro? Sound like a little weirdo, man. Don't do that. Especially if you're gonna rock with your boy, the Brando knows, you heard? If the next time I hear you say something like that, a violation, man, I'm gonna have to not fuck with you no more, kid, you heard? It's a fact. Let's get back to this. Don't talk about women like that, man. I got daughters and a mama.
Situation, hit me up. Let me know. I would love to do a collaboration with you, Charlie Kirk or Nolan Wells, because I love sharing my platform with other people. So shout out to this girl. I gotta find her name also, so y'all follow her too. She got a fat ass.
When he was initially found on July 6th.
But she's also smart too. You can be smart and have a fat ass, just so y'all know.
His mother and father, Christine and Elmore, were barred from viewing their son's body until July 10th. As a mother, that is some of the most... How can the state of Mississippi claim someone's baby boy and say because he possibly died under suspicious circumstances, you don't get to view your missing son's dead body? To know that in those 4 days, their son was laying on a slab. Their son was laying somewhere cold. Possibly the closest times they had to tell or see their son before being heavily decomposed 4 days later. They didn't get to do that. Mississippi had the upper hand for the beginning. They had his body for 4 days before the parents even saw it. If someone dies or a body is found under suspicious circumstances, so they knew it wasn't a drowning.
As a former prosecutor, I'm shocked a sitting judge would do this. Judge Ashley Cole, the mom of one of the men who is with Nolan Wells.
So this is the mom well, not her, but the mom of Warren, the boy's name is Warren. She is out here talking all kinds of shit. She's tweeting, she's starting shit, and she's a judge. But this is how corrupt this city is. This is how cult-like this city is. They don't care.
Before he was found dead, got on Facebook claiming she wanted to dispel rumors with facts, and then laid out this whole timeline of what she says are facts of what went down that day.
And she wasn't even there, so how can they be facts? Just because you're a judge doesn't mean you could just spew out bullshit.
Even though she wasn't there, and this is still an active death investigation. A judge commenting could influence or intimidate witnesses before they've even spoken to investigators. That is exactly what you don't want in an active investigation. It's the reason judges are held to a different ethical standard. This is not how homicide cases go.
See, boy moms, they be a little toxic sometimes. Shout out to the boy moms, but yeah, y'all will do anything to protect your baby. Your son goes out and kills somebody or goes out and covers up a murder as a boy mom, you're going to cover it up with everybody else. Like boy moms, like it could be all the evidence in the world. You'll still be like, not my baby. My baby didn't do this. My baby didn't do that. Boy moms, bro, y'all will literally lie to the day you die for your son. Not my baby. Exactly, Mar. Not my baby.
Law enforcement investigates. Detectives interview witnesses. Prosecutors evaluate the evidence. Judges don't even get involved until legal issues are brought into the court. When you're a sitting judge, you're not just another parent on Facebook. This is exactly the type of situation the Mississippi Code of Judicial Conduct is designed to prevent. Judges are expected to uphold public confidence in the judiciary, remain impartial, and avoid not just acting improperly, but even appearing to act improperly.
This judge needs to be disbarred. But who's going to disbar her? She's disbarred her. She's in this city and they all operate like a cult. So no matter what this judge does, nobody's going to say anything because everybody in this town is in a cult.
She literally said she was going to dispel rumors with facts, and then publicly filled in the very facts investigators are trying to figure out. None of this is okay. What do you think about her comments?
Grandpa Jerry was in the mix because the only way that he could have canceled the CTO before it even started to head out is if Wyatt had called Jerry first and Jerry told him to call for a CTO.
Now, just so you know, Wyatt is a white boy that was on the interview that has a mom that's a judge. He's kind of like the leader of the little pack of alleged murderers.
Nah, that's Warren.
And
that's
he
Warren.
is the one that was on the phone that was like, hey,
That's Wyatt. Wyatt was on the boat on the phone. Warren was the boy on the show with the judge mother.
need a toll, right? He has a grandfather that owns a boating company. So the grandfather literally, oh, hold on. You're right, Kara. We can all send complaints to the bar. I'm not going to tell anybody to do that because one thing I don't want to do is like incite some type of negativity towards any other person, because I wouldn't want a person that doesn't like me to come in and spam my channel or flag my channel. That happened to me on Facebook. I was talking about a man and a woman, and the woman was in the wrong, and the woman got her people to flag my Facebook channel, and it ruined my Facebook channel to this day. And that happened like 2 years ago. So if y'all want to do that, y'all can do that, but I'm not going to push my audience to do anything malicious to anybody, whether it's right or wrong, because it happened to me. So I know how it feels. So I'm not going to do that. So if y'all want to do that, y'all could do that, but I'm not going to do that because like my Facebook was popping. I used to have like 2,000 live viewers on Facebook alone. And that shit just went away because somebody flagged my page, and to this day is not the same.
This is okay. What do you think about her comments?
Grandpa Jerry was in the mix because the only way that he...
So Jerry is the grandfather of Wyatt, and the mother of Wyatt is the judge.
Could have canceled the Sea-Tow before it even started to head out.
And Sea-Tow is the towing company, is a company called Sea-Tow. And they actually go out and help people that have issues with their boats. That's what Sea-Tow is.
If Wyatt had called Jerry first and Jerry told him
Jerry's a grandfather.
to call for a Sea-Tow and then canceled it for him, which would explain why he couldn't give any descriptions of where the water was, how high was it. We know that the Sea-Tow did not bring in the boat. In fact, Bart's mother came on Facebook and said that there are pictures from my son's boat of the boat about to be towed, which is clearly who is about ready to tow them here as Wyatt is on the phone. I can tell you 100% that this is not a sinking boat. You can see Bart bringing them in this picture. But Bart was supposedly the one yelling at Nolan to get on the boat, remember? Why would he be yelling at Nolan to get on a boat that's sinking? Unless he was telling Nolan to get on his boat. And Warren accidentally explained what really happened with the engine. Whatever happened with Nolan happened on Bart's boat, allegedly.
See, it happened on Bart's boat. And let me kind of explain my opinion on what happened. And this is just my opinion. I have no proof. And this is not in malicious intent, because I don't know none of these little bastards. I don't know them. They're just some kids, okay? And I'm not, okay, whatever. So, hold on, I don't want her to be looking like this. Let me move her. Okay, that looks bad too. I'm trying to make it where she doesn't look crazy. Okay, that looks a little bit better. Okay, so this is what I think happened, and this is just my opinion. I think they all were on one boat. Bart has another boat because his parents may have more money, so he has a nicer boat. I forgot the name. I think his boat is the Titan or some shit, right? So he has a bigger, nicer boat. But for whatever reason, people were enjoying being on Warren's boat, or whatever the hell his name is. So everybody was on his boat, the smaller boat, right? And they all were, you know, two, three boats, right? And yes, he's the only, Bart is older than everybody also. So because he's older, he, to a certain degree, is not part of the clique like everybody else is. So he's kind of like adjacent to everybody. So Bart is trying to be cool with everybody, but he's not really a part of the group. And he doesn't necessarily live there. And he, in my opinion, because I don't know, it looked like he liked Katie, or he was with Katie, and then here comes Nolan, and he got Katie. So Katie is up on the Nolan instead of Bart. And Bart, in my opinion, is over there like, hey, I have more money, I have this, I have that, I have this nicer boat. Come over here on my boat. Because how many times have y'all heard somebody say, get on my boat, get on my boat, get on my boat, over and over and over again? So there's a possibility that Bart, with a nicer boat, is trying to get everybody or some people to come on his boat so he can party over there. And nobody wants to get on his boat because he's lame, but he has a lot of money, or more money than everybody else, right? So he's mad that he's on his boat by himself. So he, in my opinion, because I don't know, I'm just telling a story. He gets on their boat and he's like, you know what? I got something that's going to fix all this shit. And somebody laces the cocaine, because it's already been known that there was cocaine on the boat. So either I'm just going to say somebody from now on. Somebody offers everybody cocaine, and some people say yes, some people say no. And Nolan is one of the people that said yes. One of the many people that said yes is multiple boats now at this point, not just one boat. And Nolan's cocaine is laced with something. So Nolan takes some of the cocaine, and next thing you know, starts convulsing. And this is just a story I'm telling. This is not real. This is not true. This is a reenactment of what I think happened. Okay, because I don't want these little bastards trying to sue me. So this is a reenactment of a story. So this story that I'm telling is false. So the jealous boy that has the most money, that actually gave everybody cocaine, he turns around and laces the cocaine that Nolan has, and then Nolan starts convulsing, right? He starts foaming at the mouth. He's on the ground. Now, at the same time, they are having trouble with the boat. So now they're panicking on the boat, trying to figure out what to do, because at this particular point, either everybody or most of the people on these multiple boats are high as a kite. They're not just drunk, they're high. So they're just like, oh shit, we got to get out of here, right? And they're like, oh shit, what do we got to do? What can we do? So there's another side of this area, Horn Island, where it's rapids. Like the water's like, right? So they start panicking and they're like, oh shit, we got to get out of here. You know how when shit goes down, everybody tries to run away? Well, they try to cut the boat on and try to get up out of there, right? And they hit the thing a little too fast and they skip a step and they're like, "Rrr!" And they are still seated or anchored in this area, right? So when they hit the thing, it's like, and it messes up the boat. And now, since the boat goes like this, because it's still anchored, because they're panicking, because their friend is convulsing, and now they're trying to figure out how to get up out of there, the boat starts taking on water because they inadvertently did something wrong by turning on the boat in a wrong way. So now the boat is taking on water. So now they're like, oh shit, what to do? So he calls his grandfather and said, hey, I don't know what's going on, but Nolan is convulsing. He's like, all right, just get up out of there. Okay. And then they hang out with him, and then they do the thing with the boat, and then they're like, oh shit. So they call the tow people and say, hey, we need a tow. And then the grandfather calls back and says, hey, do this or do that, get somebody there to tow you. And because now he calls a grandfather and saying, hey, we have a problem with the boat. So he says, get somebody around you to tow you. So when they get on the phone with the tow people, their grandfather literally calls the tow people and says, don't worry about it. We'll take care of it. So they get Bart or somebody else to tow them out of the little area. And they tow them a certain amount of meters or miles. I don't know how far they went in order to get the boat to, get the whatever out of the whatever, because I don't know anything about boats. So maybe it's some dirt in the thing. I don't know. So next thing you know, they're now able to maneuver with the boat, right? So now they still got Nolan's dead body on the damn boat. So they turn around and bust a left, and they go over to this little area where it's rapids, and now they can turn around, and allegedly, this is a story that I'm telling. This is a depiction. So this is not true. This is a story, okay? Make it even better, I'm gonna say the ferries on the boat have a dead ferry. I just want to make this in a story way, because I don't want anybody trying to sue me. So the ferries on the boat in this fictitious fairy tale, the ferry's on a boat, there's a dead ferry that's convulsing, and we're like, oh my God, what do we do? And one of the ferries turn around and say, just bust this left and go over here and drop them off in the rapids, because then when you drop them off, the rap is going to have the body all crazy, and the body is going to get pulled over there, and then we're over here, and it's going to make it look like we had nothing to do with it, and he just drowned. So they're like, all right, cool, boom, throw him out the damn boat, and then they get the hell up out of there. All right, that is what I think happened.
Came on Facebook and said that there are pictures from my son's boat of the boat about to be towed, which is clearly who is about ready to tow them here, as Wyatt is on the phone.
So there's Wyatt, there's Warren, and there's Bart.
I can tell you 100% that
Wyatt was on the phone, not Warren.
this is not a sinking boat. You can see Bart bringing them in this.
See? So Bart is the one that towed the boat, y'all. They are the one. Bart towed the boat.
Picture. But Bart was supposedly one yelling at Nolan to get on the boat.
Right.
Remember? Why would he be yelling at Nolan to get on a boat that's sinking? Unless he was telling Nolan to get on his boat.
See, he wanted Nolan to get on his boat. So let me be quiet. But there's a reason why he specifically wanted Nolan to get on his boat. But I'm not going to say what I think because I don't want no problems.
Warren accidentally explained what really happened with the engine. Whatever happened with Nolan happened on Bart's boat, allegedly, which is why all of Bart's information was deleted. So here's what happened. Both this one and this one confirmed that there was a fight that broke out on the beach. Started out with him, ended up with Warren's little brother. His uncle says, we gotta go. They hop on a boat and they leave. He grabs his drunk younger brother and says, we're getting out of here too. 3 o'clock. This whole caravan is trying to get the hell out of there because they're drunk and fighting. Wyatt's boat was in such a hurry that they couldn't figure out how to put the freaking trim down.
That's when this happened. And then they started taking on water.
Caused the motor to overheat, quickly stranded them, and Bart had to come help them. The time that Bart shows up, something has happened between him and Nolan. They're all distracted trying to fix the bilge pump because it didn't trim down. The waves were crashing over the boat and into the bilge pump, short-circuiting it. During this, some people have figured out that Nolan is gone. Other people just think that he's passed out or something, which is why Wyatt calls his grandfather to figure out what the F to do. And as the phone call is being made, more people are figuring out something's wrong with Nolan. That's why they didn't start moving again for 30 minutes. They were coming up with a plan.
Hey, so nobody ever got on the Triton that was...
So here's this young lady with a big booty. She is talking about the Triton, the actual boat that Bart has. So she gives some great information right here. Listen to it. Because we now can understand why one person wants another person to get on another boat, why one boat is having problems, because certain boats are bigger than other boats. So listen to this.
Under the age of 18, drinking and doing drugs.
More people are figuring out
Hold on, I want to back it up a little bit.
something's wrong with Nolan. That's why they didn't start moving again for 30 minutes. They were coming up with a plan.
Hey, so nobody ever got on the Triton that was under the age of 18, drinking and doing drugs. I'm letting you know right now, the Triton is the boat everybody wanted to be on because the boys' boat that rhymes with the name Smart is where everything went down. In this video alone, we see them all board you-know-whose boat. They never get on the Triton because the Triton is a $50,000 boat that the parents took. The kids were on the motherfucking kiddie boat. Remember how they all boarded up and left on the little baby kiddie boat? The Triton didn't move when they were on it. No one ever has a video or picture of them boarding the Triton. Like, that's why they keep saying Nolan was never on the Triton, because they never used the Triton for the 18-year-old antics. They were all on the other boat. Oh, and in these videos where we see everything going down, from the argument, the boys playing and jumping the fuck around, there are at least 4 boats that are in every motherfucking scene, and there are 2 adults on every fucking boat, i.e. this one, the Sea Hunt. They are seen on this boat that says Garmin at the top. They are seen partying on the mysterious, dead, Katie's boat, whatever. They are also seen on this boat called the Palm Beach. This video came from a user on Facebook that recorded everything, and I'm telling you, this area that they were all in, all of these boats, as you can see, the Sea Hut, the Palm Beach, and the big Garmin boat they were on, were all secluded and tied off with something like fishing wire because this was their specific area for the day. This also included this boat, which was a blue boat that just so happens to have someone called architects and designers, this AI tool is about doctor detail on it. I'll get to that later. I am telling you, the kids were not allowed on the grown folks boat, and there are so many different videos with grown folks in them. These are not your normal grown folks, and they strategically, all of them, have no posts from the 4th.
So I want y'all to think about this. There was a number of grown-ass people on that island. So there were young people underage with access to alcohol. There were young people underage with access to cocaine. And they were accompanied by grown-ass adults because there were married couples on the island. Married couples.
And we know now, because of Officer Tatum, someone was actively going around that was an adult selling blow. The fact that you guys don't understand the cover-up is coming from the adults that were present, and all of these adults are related and interconnected. I mean, fuck. Tristan knows exactly who's in the Dr. Detail shirt. A lot of people that were there that day are family within the community. And what happened on the boat did not take place on the motherfucking Triton. That's why everyone is now saying, oh my God, I was on the Triton. Nolan was never on the Triton. You're right, because Nolan was on you know whose boat when it happened to him, when his leg was hanging over the side. There's a young lady on here who is claiming she witnessed the altercation on the day of July 4th with Nolan Wells, and it is a completely different story, and it's alleged because I want you guys to see this video.
And this young lady's name is Ajala. I'm going to have to spell it because her name is spelled in a way. It's AJAHALLH. All right. So follow her on Instagram. It's AJAHALLH. I do not know how that's pronounced, but I offered for her to come on my show. So it's AJAHALLH.
But it's very spooky to me. 5 days ago, she posted this stating that she will only speak to what she...
So this is actually a witness that was on the boat that's seen everything. Let me back it up.
Take it over the side. There's a young lady on here who is claiming she witnessed the altercation on the day of July 4th with Nolan Wells, and it is a completely different story, and it's alleged because I want you guys to see this video, but it's very spooky to me. 5 days ago, she posted this stating that she will only speak to what she observed and what she knows to be true. She then goes on to make a statement saying what she saw the day of the 4th with Nolan and other individuals. Quote unquote, she says, allegedly, while I was on a boat near the area, I witnessed an altercation involving Nolan Wells and several other individuals. I saw what appeared to be an argument that escalated after there was a dispute involving Nolan's phone. I heard Nolan yelling for his phone to be returned. The argument continued after the group reached shore, and I observed a physical fight involving Nolan and multiple people. I also observed a young woman telling them to stop. She then said she left the area because it appeared to get really bad or worse.
Somebody said they're going to start snitching on each other in a minute. No, they're not. And the reason why nobody's going to snitch, because this whole situation is being ran by the adults. Just like this young lady said, the adults are the biggest problem on all this, because the adults are there accompanying minors. There were a number of adults on that island. So if the kids go down, they're probably going to blame it on the damn adults. So the adults are going to rally the kids up and literally say this do not say anything unless it's with the little raccoon dude off of Tatum. So they're not going to snitch on anybody because their parents. You got to remember, this is a cult, y'all. So this is a very like close-knit cult. What's up, Brown Sugar? So just keep that in mind.
After that, people called her a liar, saying she was making it up. So then she posted this screenshot of something that was sent from her Instagram to Eric, aka Jax, who was also involved on July 7th. She sent it. It's right there. This one is very eerie. It says, hey, I just want to say I was a passenger on another boat and saw the argument between you guys and will go to the police with this information. I also have video footage my husband and I have taken. It doesn't show much, but shows the argument that was taken and how you guys were upset at Nolan because of the young lady. You're a monster, and I promise you will have your day. You will be under the jail. Today is the 7th of July. Mark my words, you will be put away forever for a very long time.
So this isn't going to get anywhere because, like I said, the judge is the parent of Warren. So no matter what anybody says, no matter what anybody does, they're going to do everything in their power to cover this whole thing up.
Yeah.
And there's the reason why we have to do.
But, you know, so what's she the judge? She don't rule all courts all over the world and shit. You know what I mean? We already know it's hot over there. Maybe they got to move it to another venue. You know what I mean? That's all. Move it to a new venue. Now that you know that your boy Dabrand knows. I'm about to get up out of here, y'all, because I'm feeling a little tired, man. It's nap time. I had shopping today, this morning, ran around. Y'all saw me. Y'all was on the live. We're going to make our way through this, and then I'm going to get up out of here, because, yeah.
This because we're not from there. If we put enough pressure on the judicial process of that city, what we'll actually inadvertently, well, not inadvertently, will systematically do is put so much attention on this little bitty bullshit ass cult city where a grand jury would take this up and either send the feds in there, like with Utah, because you might be like, ain't no feds going to deal with this. Well, the feds were involved with Utah. That was a small city. So if we put enough pressure on these people, outside entities would then come in and request a change of venue and bring in new people that are not part of this cult and then start investigating this case and start taking this case away from the cult members. And that's our responsibility. We have to do this as an outside entity or a group of outside entities to put pressure on this cult in order to, you know, make some changes. Because if we don't keep putting pressure on these people, they are going to cover this whole situation up. This is a murder. I don't know who killed them, but it's a murder.
Also states after she reached
or a murder cover-up. Still a murder.
out, Jack.
Or accident cover-up. It could have been an accident. They panicked and they try to cover it up. And that's what makes it so fucking bad, because you dumb kids tried to cover it up.
So right here, you got to listen closely. She kind of like muffles her microphone. So I'm going to back it up a little bit. But turn your volume up a little bit because her microphone muffles a little bit.
To stop. She then says she left the area because it appeared to get really bad or worse. After that, people called her a liar, saying she was making it up. So then she posted this screenshot of something that was sent from her Instagram to Eric, aka Jax, who was also involved on July 7th. She sent it. It's right there. This one is very eerie. It says, hey, I just want to say I was a passenger on another boat and saw the argument between you guys and will go to the police with this information. I also have video footage my husband and I have taken. It doesn't show much, but shows the argument that was taken and how you guys were upset at Nolan because of the young lady. You're a
Right there. Right there. there is an outside witness that is saying that there was a fight or an altercation over the young lady, Katie, whatever her last name is. There was a fight or an altercation over the young lady. And who was the young lady messed with at first? Bart. Let's call him Fart instead of, so let's call him Farts from now on. So we won't get sued. So Fart allegedly was getting into it with Nolan. Look, let's call him Fart.
To stop. She then says she left the area because it appeared to get really bad or worse. After that, people called her a liar, saying she was making it up. So then she posted this screenshot of something that was sent from her Instagram to Eric, aka Jax, who was also involved on July 7th. She sent it. It's right there. This one is very eerie. It says, hey, I just want to say I was a passenger on another boat and saw the argument between you guys and will go to the police for this information. I also have video footage my husband and I have taken. It doesn't show much, but shows the argument that was taken and how you guys were upset at Nolan because of the young lady. You're a monster, and I promise you will have your day. You will be under the jail. Today is the 7th of July. Mark my words, you will be put away forever for a very long time. Also states after she reached out.
See right there, that is more evidence that there is a murder and a murder cover-up, because there's a witness who is literally saying, you motherfuckers are going to get put under the jail. Why would, see, it's one thing about saying, I don't like y'all, y'all left me, y'all are racist, y'all are whatever, but they are literally saying that they will get put under the jail. Why? Because they witnessed something on that boat, just like everybody else did. I'm sorry to keep rewinding it, but this is evidence right here. A witness is evidence.
Yeah, that's evidence, man. Rewind that shit again, because she said, that's new to me right there. See what I'm saying? Now, I done learned something else from you now, see? You catching up now, you done showed me something. All right? Because all that other shit you was showing, we already knew that. Now, this part right here, somebody from the island saying something, this is new. You know what I mean? So play that once again, man, so I can get out of here.
And I also have video footage my husband and I have taken.
Video footage! I didn't even hear that the first time. I also have video footage. It's over. Video footage, and the woman is alleging that somebody did something on that boat that caused Nolan Wells to die.
And it doesn't show much, but shows the argument that was taken and how you guys were upset at Nolan because of the young lady. You're a monster, and I promise you will have your day. You will be under the jail. Today is the 7th of July.
That's
Mark my
significant
words,
because, you know what I'm saying, they try to make it seem like Nolan was cuddled up with the girl. Like I kept saying before. They keep saying, no, everybody's hating because Nolan seemed to be the only one with the girl and shit. Like, why y'all hating? Your boy Trayvon he said, yeah, I seen Nolan, he was with the girl. I said, yeah, man, look at you. Yeah, you with the girl, man. Yeah, I see you, man. You know what I'm saying? Even though he with his girl, he got to say something about him with his girl. You feel me, though? You feel me, though? Even though he with his girl, he got to say something about him with his girl. Like, yo, I see you with your girl, man. Yeah, you with her, Huh? And then what did Warren say? Warren said, yeah, I seen him, it was 3 o'clock, and he was hugged up with the girl, the girl, Katie, Katie, yeah, he was hugged up with Katie, the one, yeah, her, yeah, the one that won't come out and say nothing. She said but her sister could somehow send a text and get her out to clear. What kind of, what? Where Katie at, man? Get Katie to the front, right? Don't you agree? Mr. Let's go. Don't you agree? Huh? Shouldn't they bring Katie to the front? All right. With that being said, your boy Trayvon, he said that he got into a fight with a guy because the guy told him stop talking to his girl in some kind of way, right? But his girl must have been Aquawoman because she dove under the water and disappeared when the fight started. What kind of shit is that? Huh? Then he jumped on the boat because his uncle told him to. So why are you yelling for your phone? So the footage makes a whole lot of sense. The shit that she's saying that they got. And we dying for it to come out because I can't wait for them to show that it was not Trayvon saying, give me back my phone, so the whole jig would be definitely we'd be up. You understand? Once that footage come out of Nolan Wells saying, give me back my phone, the jig is up. Because remember, old boy said that was him saying that, even though he ain't had no reason to be saying it. He just said he was in a fight, and he ain't explained nothing. And that's the reason why you was saying, give me my phone? Because you was in a fight? Come on, man, knock it off. You understand me? Let's go.
Put away forever for a very long time. Also states after she reached out, Jack blocked her. It's where someone saying, I saw where another boy said it was himself and not Nolan. Are you sure it was Nolan? She says, I'm more than certain it was Nolan because we followed their boat for a little while. Not only do Tracy and Warren not admit who Wyatt and Tracy himself got into an altercation with, they all say someone else, but it would make sense as to why they would lie and say it was actually Tracy yelling for his phone. I don't think this young lady is telling a lie, and I allegedly believe her post.
Only pathologist that conducted the autopsy did not
him up. Mobley, are you a medical doctor? Yes, no.
I know how to examine forensic evidence based on the countless homicides that I've
Listening,
tried.
not hearing, yes, no. You're not a medical doctor.
Why is he smiling like that? Like, why is he? Like, why are you smiling like that? Like, you're a little weird. Nah,
he one of them Sambo ass niggas. Look at him. He just looking at the car. He ain't even got his whole face in the camera. He just off to the side like a little pedophile. Freaking around. I almost said it, y'all. Like a tick it down. Tick it down, tick it down, tick it down. Yeah.
Wrong? Why is he smiling like that? She's kind of like fussing with him, and he's just like, like, what are you doing? Isn't it weird? What is he doing?
Doctor.
I'm a jurist.
Are you a medical examiner?
I am not.
No. In what world?
I ain't gonna be there jerking off on the camera. Look, why you got that shit so high? You over there jerking off. You smile like, yeah, there, see, yeah. Yeah, I'm a medical examiner. Look at that. That's goofy nigga face. You over there jerking off.
World.
Somebody died, and you're sitting there laughing?
Smiling like a motherfucker. You cheesing. You know what I'm saying? With his hands in his pants. Look. Watch how his head move when she talking to him. Watch this shit be bobbing like he jerking off. Look.
Everybody just seems so weird, just like in the Charlie Kirk situation. These people are weird as hell, y'all.
What world would the first medical examiner
Look at this
remove
head.
Nolan's throat if it did not have something probative about it, something that proves something? Did they remove his toe? No.
No.
His elbow? No. His eyeball? His nose? No. They took his throat. Do not tell me that a medical doctor, which you are not, took a throat out of this young man because it means nothing. And then, you know what? I can't even hear you. Straight out to Joe Scott Morgan joining us, professor of...
And he's sitting there smiling. What in the hell is going on with these damn people? And that was a black man. It's crazy how a white woman has to browbeat a black man to get him to wake the fuck up. What is wrong with these damn people?
Forensics death investigator. That second doctor did...
Before Wyatt calls.
Yo.
Yeah. Yo, Mr. Let Go. Check it out, man. Yo, check it out. Mr. Lego, check it out, man. I'm gonna get up out of here, man. I'm gonna see you and the rest of these cats later, you heard? Feel me though. Check it out. I'm gonna take a nap and I'll be right back. You understand me? Huh? You hear me though? Cool. So with that being said, today is just not Monday.
Monday is the worst, first day of the week. Always seem to feel I never get enough sleep. Tuesday's the one day, feels like a Sunday. And if it wasn't for Monday, I wouldn't even notice. Wednesday's the hump day, get you out the slump day. Thursday's the day before that bread, so you pump day. Friday's the next direct deposit. And now it's the weekend and you didn't realize it.
2 days off.
Let's go.
My 2 days off.
No, I got you, baby. We done figured it out.
I got my 2
days off, baby. We ain't gonna slide.
2 days off.